Last night's series opener with the Giants pitted two longtime adversaries, one trying to make history, the other trying to avoid it. Despite the best efforts of a former Friar, one of San Diego's new faces would shine brightest last night as Scott Hairston's first ever two-home run game would win it for the Padres. Tonight, Clay Hensley makes his first big league start in over 3 months as San Diego tries to take another one from their rivals from the city by the bay, Giants and Padres. Next. Another sold-out crowd downtown. Welcome to Game 2 of this 3-game series is once again tonight. The San Francisco Giants battle your 2-time National League Western Division champion, San Diego Padres. It's a Giants lineup still filled with familiar faces. Back with Mark Grant, Matt Vasgersian. One of those familiar faces will lead off once again for Bruce Bochy tonight. Dave Roberts has had a rough year in his inaugural season as a Giant. However, the last month has been more like the Dave Roberts we were used to seeing here in San Diego for so many years.
And we know Dave Roberts can do it in so many ways. What did he do last night? First at bat, he bunts. Even though the infield is in, he can still get away with that. He's got great back control. You can see the last 14 games. And like you said, Matty, it's a big key when he is healthy. He said last night, you know what, this is my former team. I want to beat these guys. He wanted to get a 5th hit last night. He's a tough out. And he'll be tough to get out tonight if he keeps swinging the bat that way.
It's going to be a tough out for Clay Hensley tonight. Clay has been outstanding since returning to the Padres in 3 relief appearances. The number's very good as he's back in the starting rotation for however long, at least tonight.
Well, the main thing for Clay Hensley is to go out there and remain healthy. The numbers and the pitching will take care of itself. Last 3 outings, as you mentioned, Matty, in relief. Well, what's been working for Clay? It's the sinker, it's the slider, it's the late breaking changeup like that right there. But Clay Hensley said, you know what, when you've got bicep tendonitis, you don't get on top of your pitches as well. You don't get through the pitches as well. When he gets through those pitches, you just saw it, folks, he gets that nasty bite. Hopefully he can stay healthy because he can help this rotation and this bullpen if possible.
Clay's opponent in the Saquon starting pitching matchup tonight, as you can hear some of the cat calls for Barry Bonds behind us. Making his first ever major league start, Giant right-hander Pat Mish. His 6 games previously had come in relief. Mish makes his big league debut as a starter tonight. Great to have you along with us. Do stick around. It's the Padres and Giants. Game 2 of the series is coming up next. Sold-out crowd here at Petco Park. Back with Mark Grant, Matt Vasgersian. Day 2 of San Diego's Bonds home run watch. They got through the whole thing in Los Angeles without witnessing any history. A lot of San Francisco fans, of course, and just a lot of baseball fans who are out here hopeful to see Bonds perhaps catch Hank Aaron tonight. There are perhaps more in the ballpark that prefer he stays stuck at 754. But whatever your orientations are regarding Barry Bonds and the home run chase, this has been very good for business, very good for baseball throughout the big leagues. Time to take a look at our Esurance comparison of the game. Get your auto insurance quote and compare rates instantly at esurance.com. This is significant in that Clay Hensley tonight, facing Bonds and the Giants, has never allowed a home run to Bonds. The most plate appearances by Barry Bonds without a home run versus a particular opposing pitcher. Our former colleague and friend Rick Sutcliffe faced him 51 plate appearances without yielding a double.
Oh, Rick Sutcliffe had good stuff. He had the good changeup, good breaking ball, and he could spot his fastball. Bruce Ruffin, the lefty, had a nasty slider. And John Franco, remember the screwball? Cincinnati Red, New York Met. And Rick Mailer, the late Rick Mailer, there's a guy who just slopped stuff to death. Big eephus curveball. Just changed speeds. Never 2 pitches the same speed.
You're trying to take attention away from yourself.
Well, you know, I kept the ball in the yard when Barry Bonds was up at the plate, but he hit like 465 off of it. He can hit.
Batting cleanup in left field tonight, still looking for a bit of history. He might have only one more opportunity to do it in this series. We still don't know if Bonds will play tomorrow against Justin Germano in the series finale. We're taking them one at a time. There are roughly 1,000 tickets left for tomorrow's game. Tonight's is sold out, and when we come back, we'll set the starting lineups and take a look at the first pitch. Game 2 of the series, the Giants and Padres, coming up next. Great look at Petco Park. Sold out, filled to the brims tonight. Once again, this is the 11th sellout of the year. They have turned out for this great rivalry between the Padres and Giants. They have certainly turned out to perhaps play with Barry Bonds in his historic home run chase. And before we get to baseball, let's set the starting lineup for Bruce Bochy's Giants. The Giants are brought to you by Rico. Move your ideas forward with Rico dependability. Replete with a couple of familiar names and faces, including Dave Roberts leading off. Ryan Klesko playing first base, batting in the 5 spot. But we call your particular attention to Ray Durham. He has the best numbers of any Giant against Clay Hensley, a .357 batter in 14 at-bats against the San Diego right-hander. As we mentioned when we went on the air, Clay Hensley makes his first big league start in just over 3 months. His overall line brought to you by the accident and injury attorneys at the Pacific Law Center.
And it's a humbling experience. First of all, when you get hurt and you have to go down to the minor leagues, first of all, get your stuff straight, and most of all, get healthy. You see the numbers this season overall for Clay Hensley. They don't look good as far as the .319 opposing batting average, but you start to take little steps towards progression, and with the way that Clay was throwing the ball out of the bullpen, it's a great way to earn him a start. And who knows? Maybe he'll get another start. It's just a pitch-by-pitch, game-by-game type situation for Clay.
Well, Hensley made the 3 relief appearances after coming back from Portland, and they were good. We gave you the numbers when we went on the air. It was really a series of physical problems for Hensley that led to his being DL'd and eventually dropped down to AAA Portland. The first problem was a groin, and that was irritated on May 2nd in D.C. He left that contest after 2 innings due to the strained right groin. He was put on the DL, reinstated an option to AAA Portland, and that's when the bicep tendonitis that you mentioned a moment ago, Mudcat, really got to him.
It's not a good feeling, obviously, when you're hurt, but when you've got something with the bicep tendon, you can't get up top, you can't get through your pitches, and it's frustrating. And there's also a fine line between having the little aches and pains and being hurt to where you can't perform at the big league level. Clay says he's 100%. He's good to go.
Dave Roberts digs in to start things for San Francisco. The doctor was 4 for 5 with a couple of runs batted in yesterday. He was the biggest problem in the lineup as far as San Diego is concerned, and Hensley's first pitch of the ball game is in for a strike. Clay made his first 2 starts of the year against the Giants. April 5th in San Francisco, April 10th here at Petco Park. Neither one of them were as good as we know Clay to be from his fantastic 2006 season. He did not pitch into the 5th in either one of those assignments and gave up 5 and 6 runs respectively in his 2 first starts of the year, both again coming against the Giants. Here's his 1-1 home to Dave Roberts. Ball and 2 strikes to the San Francisco leadoff hitter.
Matt, you know how I always talk about pitchers going out there. In a perfect world, you like to keep it under 10 pitches for an inning. Well, Clay Hensley having some work out of the bullpen, having some relief appearances on a pitch count tonight. So you're going to have to keep an eye on how many pitches he's going to throw. Hopefully he can have quick innings. But this is one guy at the plate who can be a pest and make you throw 8 to 10 pitches and at bat. And that's Dave Roberts fouling off a lot of pitches.
1-2 to Roberts. The switch hitter Randy Wynn waiting next. Just underway downtown tonight, and the 1-2 pitch to Roberts is swung on and missed. A foul tip hung on to by Josh Bard. 1 gone for Hensley to start business tonight. San Diego defensively brought to you by Ocean's 11 Casino, open 24 hours. Join him Sunday morning. That's tomorrow for the famous brunch. Only $7. Scott Hairston starts in left field tonight. He ended the night in left, as you well know, yesterday. The hamstring still giving Milton Bradley some trouble today. And Rob Makoviak once again in right for the ailing Brian Giles. Here's Randy Wynn now. San Francisco's right fielder, 1 for 5 in the opener yesterday. You know, think about how active the Padres were just before the deadline, acquiring the likes of Makoviak and Hairston. And think of how important those acquisitions have become in light of Giles hurting himself earlier on the homestand and Milton Bradley hurting himself a couple of nights ago.
And you're talking about Milton Bradley, who's been here for a while. He's been out there in left field. Brian Giles in right. They know the real estate out there. Now, Scott Hairston And Makoviak are going to have to get used to that real estate out in those points of the outfield.
Boy, Clay Hensley, as if to say, I want to be back into the starting rotation as it was all year last season with a couple of strikeouts to start the game.
Randy Wynn has no choice but to swing at that last pitch. I think that Darrell Cousins, a little gracious off the plate with the first 2 pitches. So as a hitter, you have to protect.
Here's Ray Durham now with 2 away. Durham 1 for 4 with a base on balls yesterday. Barry Bonds waiting an opportunity next.
You know, from a Giants standpoint, I've always liked the idea of Barry Bonds batting third, getting that 1 at bat in the first inning, even if there's nobody on. You know, sure, the pitchers will probably pitch around to go to the next guy, but Bruce Bochy's thoughts are to get some guys on and have Barry Bonds drive them in.
You remember what a big topic of conversation that was in April.
Yeah.
Durham lines to right. It sinks on Makoviak, but he makes the catch to keep Bonds on deck. Bonds will lead off the second. All kinds of funny action on this baseball, and Makoviak makes for a 1-2-3 start to the night. A 1-2-3 start to the ball game for Clay Hensley as we go to the bottom of the first and check out Buddy Black's Padres, brought to you by all 6 Massey Nissan locations. Scott Hairston, Mike Cameron, and Josh Bard lead it off. Adrian Gonzalez, Khalil Green, and Morgan Ensberg 4 through 6. Blum, Makoviak, and Hensley make out a starting lineup that couldn't look much different from San Diego's starting lineup on opening day this year. My goodness, Bard in the 3-hole. You got Morgan Ensberg, Makoviak, and Hairston, guys that just got here. If you've been out of town for a few weeks, folks, that's your starting 9 tonight against the Giants.
And his manager, Bud Black, would say, hey, they're big leaguers. They're big leaguers.
That's a good left-hander you're doing. That's exactly how he'd say it, too. Rookie southpaw Pat Mish on the mound for the Giants. Mish in 6 relief appearances took a decision loss, a 4.91 earned run average. San Francisco's 7th selection back in 2003 out of Western Michigan. This year he has been used a lot as a relief pitcher at both AAA Fresno and in the big leagues. But prior to 2007, most of his time in the system had come as a starter. Here's his 2-0 home to Scott Hairston. Stay hot. Into the corner and foul. Well, the big night for Hairston yesterday, his first ever multiple home run game. 1 to tie it, 1 to win it. They could not have come in any more dramatic fashion. The game winner came in the last of the 10th against southpaw Jack Tashner. It's just a few minutes really after the 3-run shot in the 8th against Vinny Chilk. All the attention fixed on Barry Bonds, and it was Scott Hairston that went deep twice a night ago. Oh my goodness. Stay hot, kid. Hairston's done it again into the top tank. Oh man. 1-0 San Diego. You can't contain Scott Hairston.
Oh my, hanging slider last night, fastball for the 2nd home run, and this one is right down the middle, belt buckle high. Upper tank, as you said, Matty. Wow.
Someone's locked on, huh? Everybody's smiling in that San Diego dugout. Here's Mike Cameron now. Mish's breaking ball starts him with a strike. You know, we don't even really have a chance to set the story on Pat Mish and talk about his background, his repertoire, and he's already given up a big league dinger. Cameron fouls away. It's 0-2.
It's almost like this team is feeding off what happened last night, because in the clubhouse last night, Scott Hairston, obviously a big smile on his face with the 2 home runs. But Brian Giles, Morgan Ensberg sitting by their locker saying, you know what? Felt like little kids last night. I felt like a 4-year-old playing Little League, jumping around, celebrating after that ball game. Guys are having fun.
We have our research team on this information. The Padres' record for home runs in consecutive at-bats. It's 3 now for Hairston. Dude had hit 13 in 3 years in the big leagues. And, you know, in fairness, those were partial seasons for Scott. Pat Mish at 2-2 now to Mike Cameron. But what a good guy, too.
Oh, yeah.
In the short time we've had to get to know Scott Hairston. Happy to be in San Diego. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count to Cameron. Mike yesterday was 1 for 5 in the opener.
Haven't even had a chance to talk about Mish and his repertoire. Fastball, kind of like a slurve. Sometimes he'll cut the fastball, and he jams his hand into his glove. He gets set. You remember when Scott Linebrink used to set with the split finger fastball in his glove? Yeah. Looks like Mish sets in his glove a changeup grip. Maybe we can take a sneak peek inside his glove. Sometimes guys do a good job of hiding that so you can't see inside the glove.
It's 2 balls and 2 strikes still to Mike Cameron.
Let's see if he does any. There he is. See him jamming between his fingers there into a changeup grip. And then he will alter. He looks like he's switching up his fingers to throw something else. Fastball.
Full count to Mike, 3-2. This is technically Pat Mish's second stint with the big league team. He was recalled from AAA Fresno before the game. And this is the roster spot once occupied by Matt Morris, who was traded to Pittsburgh, their surprise suitor on Tuesday. And a called strike 3 taken by Mike Cameron. Can't wait to look at that breaking ball again.
Oh, my. He nearly catches
the
that
knee.
Back by his knee.
Come on.
Here's the grip. That's changed from the changeup grip, and then that's the slurve we're talking about.
Did you hear that guy in the stands?
I heard something about blue.
That was terrible, Blue. That's a good heckle.
Yeah.
You know? Darrell Cousins behind home plate tonight, veteran Major League umpire. There's Josh Bard now. Bard was 1 for 1. A pinch hit knock yesterday. That's into the gap in right center field. Bounding about in right there as Bard gets into second.
I'll talk to Wally Joyner before the game around the batting cage. I asked him what his philosophy was as far as hitters are concerned. He says nothing really magical, no magic potion. He believes in balance. He believes in rhythm. And with that swing there of Josh Bard, it looked like he was balanced very nicely. He smoked that ball nicely to the opposite field.
So with the runner in scoring position now, here's Adrian Gonzalez, 0 for 2 with a couple of walks yesterday. And a fastball starts Adrian with strike 1. For Pat Mish, prior to his first recall, really outstanding numbers in the PCL. He held opponents to under 200, and under 200 batting average, that is.
Ooh.
Got a 2.03 ERA and 31 relief appearances. But again, prior to working out of the bullpen this year, he was a starting pitcher in all but one of his outings as Giant property. And Adrian looking to call a great 3. Missed kind of a thick runner in scoring position. There are now 2 away.
Well, that didn't look like that bad of a pitch. The breaking ball to Cameron looked like it was well off the plate inside. That straight fastball, if it's off the plate, it's only off by a smidgen.
Here's Khalil Green now, 0 for 4 yesterday in the opener. And Green has started with strike one. Pat Mish hoping that he can look back on the dinger here to start the ball game in a couple of innings and say it was just a case of the yips. It's a guy making his first ever big league start, by the way, and he's doing it in front of a packed house with all kinds of additional media scrutiny on this game. Not on him as much as it's on Barry Bonds, but it's still here.
It's a good way to get noticed, isn't it? You pitch a gem. Man, remember we talked about him gripping the baseball in his glove. Well, from the stretch, look at that grip. That's the old changeup grip. He's got it wedged in there. Man.
6 straight strikes by Pat Mish here, trying to again strand a runner at second base with 2 gone.
Looks like Mish is holding the changeup like that. You can see that underneath the ball, his thumb over, or his index finger over his thumb. There's the freeze shot of it from center field. Oh, you know what he's doing? It's almost like the Vulcan grip. It's in between his ring finger and his middle finger. That's why he's jamming it in there. You get what I mean by that, Matty?
I do. But the question is, how unusual is that? Is it as unusual as we think it is?
I think it is unusual. I played with a guy, Pat Larkin, left-hander. He threw his changeup like that. In fact, we called it the Vulcan. But that's the way that's why he's going like that. He's jamming it, and then he's going to that grip. It hurts the tendons.
Need me to sign that? Who should I make this out to?
To Sammy. Get well soon.
Into right field. Randy Witt has got it. And that puts an end to the home first. But Scott Hairston at it again. Home runs in 3 consecutive plate appearances. He has tied a franchise record and made it 1-0 San Diego. You know, the vernacular being used around Barry Bonds being, quote, stuck on 754 is a bit of an oxymoron. He has hit 754 career home runs. I don't know if I'd call it stuck on that or not. He has gone without for 6 games. And many of the paid tonight have paid for this very reason, to watch Barry Bonds try for 755. A strike from Clay Hensley. Two for 11 career against the San Diego right-hander. Changeup misses outside, and it's 1-1 to Bonds.
Clay Hensley was quoted in the Union Tribune today saying, you know what, I'm going to pitch to Bonds. I'm going to try to work him, try to get him out. Maddox did the same thing last night in the first inning.
2-1. And by saying he's going to pitch to Barry Bonds, it doesn't mean he's going to lay cookie after cookie down the middle of the plate.
No.
There it is. There it is. Number 755. A 2-1 pitch from Clay Hensley. Bonds goes to the opposite field. And someone in the left field stands at Petco has a very valuable souvenir tonight. Or did it just come back onto the field? Barry Bonds has done it. He has tied Henry Aaron. His 755th career home run. Bonds had not been happy with his plate appearances for the last month. He was here early taking extra BP, rare indeed. to see a guy just about to become the all-time home run champion here at 3 o'clock doing extra hitting work.
Yeah, 3 o'clock till about 3:45. Barry Bonds not happy with the stroke, and he's working on it. And like so many times before, Barry Bonds has got power to all fields. Elevated fastball, and that's exactly where he takes that pitch, off the facing of the upper deck in left field.
The real story now is out in left field. Not the real story. That's a dumb thing to say. One of the stories is out in left field. The real story's in the dugout. But somewhere in there, there's a baseball. Ryan Klesko, as play resumes, retired on a ground ball to second, so there are 2 away now. You know that Bonds wants it back. And I guarantee you it's a more well-behaved crowd here at Petco Park looking for that souvenir than it would have been in any other major league city. The stories of what was going on in San Francisco when the single season home run record was set and when Bonds was hitting 600 and 700, etc. Really hard to stomach. People knocking each other down, punching each other, ripping things out of one another's hands.
It looks pretty reserved out there. I know there's extra security, and they're doing a great job. The way it is right now, where that ball landed off that facade out there, it doesn't seem to be a scrum at all. Doesn't seem to be any type of issue.
0-1 the count to Benji Molina. Boy, there are a lot of people that can exhale now. A ground ball to third. Ensberg throws out Molina. This was Bonds at 3 o'clock this afternoon taking early batting practice. And this was before the hordes of media were even in the ballpark, Mudcat.
Manager Bruce Bochy out throwing batting practice to Barry Bonds. Even the great ones take the extra BP. But as Matt said earlier, very, very rare that Barry will be out early to take hacks.
Put on a show.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, we're giving you the highlights from that BP round, but man. Now, I ask you this. Is he done for the rest of the day today?
Interesting point. I think Bruce Bochy wants to win the ball game. He's going to manage it like it's any other game. Sure, you know, the Giants out of the race as we speak. 12 games out.
He's going to manage it, sure, but Barry Bonds could very easily walk over to Boch and say, I'm done, and Boch almost has to respect that.
That was my next point.
Because you know he wants to set it in San Francisco. There's little doubt that he wants to do it at home.
Man, that's a lot of home runs.
And it's something I think fans that can understand. Even his detractors can understand his desire to want to set the record in San Francisco. It's 3 balls and a strike now to Pedro Feliz. And there's ball 4. Clay Hensley's name was not on the list of the 444 pitchers victimized by Barry Bonds. It is now, and it is there in bright bold letters, unfortunately for Clay. We're guessing that this Lauren Nancaro lookalike is the gentleman that got the home run ball. We're not sure. He would need to have an armed guard next to him if he were anywhere else in the big leagues. I'm telling you, folks. Fly ball into center field for Mike Cameron. Barry Bonds has hit home run number 755. Oh, incidentally, it's tied the score 1 apiece. So they were standing for Barry Bonds as he goes out to left field to continue tonight. Morgan Ensberg leads things off here in the home second, a 1-1 tie. We have witnessed history this evening.
I think it was a classy move by those fans down the left field line, standing up and applauding in San Diego fashion to Barry Bonds.
Took the words right out of my mouth. 0-2 the count to Morgan Ensberg. A couple of days removed from a multiple home run game in his first start as a Padre. He followed it up with a rough one yesterday, 0 for 4 with 3 punchies. The 0-2 from Pat Mish. Hasn't missed since allowing the leadoff home run to Scott Hairston. We never took a look at the Giants defensively earlier with all the action. It's brought to you by SD Storage, where your first month is free. Go to sdstorage.com for details. Barry Bonds started in left field, and after hitting number 755, he remains out there, and that's noteworthy. Jeff Blum, the batter now. You could certainly understand Barry Bonds' desire to do it at home. You could also understand his desire to get it out of the way as quickly as he can, regardless of where the Giants might be playing. Here's the 0-2 home. And Jeff Blum swings and misses. Pat Mish has struck out 4 in not even 2 innings tonight.
Well, that's the scouting report I got on Mish. He's a strike thrower, and he has shown in the second inning getting ahead and putting him away. 2 swings and a mish for the first 2 hitters for the Padres.
Excellent. Here's Rob Makoviak now. Ball and no strikes to Makoviak, 1 for 5 yesterday. This has already been some 2007 when you think about the milestones that have been reached. And earlier today, A-Rod hit his 500th. That is the man who many feel has the best chance to ultimately pass Barry Bonds someday. Frank Thomas hit his 500th earlier this year. That's off the fists. Great play by Mish. But he yanks the throw, and Makoviak's still going. We'll see how it's scored. There's a runner at second base with 2 gone now for Hensley.
Well, it's a great play, but he has plenty of time. He sets his feet. He just spikes it. I think that's got to be an error. And as I look up at the scoreboard, it is in fact an error to the pitcher. That's a bad feeling when you know you've got 2 strikeouts, and then all of a sudden.
That was Satursky-like in its
nice
in its spikeness. And they will appeal it out to first base to see if Makoviak might have missed the bag. He did not.
Yeah, with all the commotion over there, Ryan Klesko trying to pick that ball. He actually came across the bag and actually got in the way of Makoviak. But Rob clearly touched the bag.
So now Hensley with the chance to help himself. Clay had driven in a couple of runs prior to being sent down to the AAA level in May. You know, back to the Bonds home run, and it's certainly still on my mind, as I believe it is on the minds of our viewers as well. One of the more ridiculous things that had been talked about this last week was this sentiment that maybe Barry Bonds wasn't trying to hit a home run because he wanted to do it on the road, or at home. So every time the Giants went on the road, he was trying to hit singles. You know, he wasn't swinging as hard. Absolute poppycock.
He put a good swing on that last one.
Number 755, his 87th against the Padres. More against San Diego than any other team. play really early, swinging and missing on 0-2. A 2-out base runner is left stranded. 5 strikeouts for Mish. That's the story coming in from left. Well, it's a scene out in left field with everybody that has a camera and a microphone trying to get out there and talk to the person who has that home run ball. It looks like it's this guy, and it's oh boy, he's wearing a San Diego jersey. Looks like Paul Rudd. We're not sure which of those guys caught the ball, but we're getting our people on it as well, folks. Do stay with us on Channel 4. It'll be Pat Mish to lead things off in the visitors' third, a 1-1 ball game. A couple of solo home runs, one by Scott Hairston and one by Barry Bonds, of course. First career plate appearance for Pat Mish, making his first big league start tonight. Western Michigan University. It's not top of mind in terms of a baseball feeder school the way perhaps the University of Texas may be viewed. USC, UCLA. That's slapped to the right side of the infield. Gonzalez to Hensley. There's one away. There have been some notable Western Michigan alums or ex-Western Michigan players, graduates or otherwise, to make it to the big leagues.
Now, was Bob Welch Eastern Michigan?
Bob Welch was Eastern Michigan.
Okay.
Correct. Jim Bouton.
Really?
Maybe the most famous of all. Pat Mish is the 31st major leaguer to come from Western Michigan University. Matt Mieske,
yeah,
former Padre. John Vanderwall, Frankenbarber's guy. And Brian Sikorsky. All Western Michigan alums. Dave Roberts, the batter, now with one away. Dave struck out to start the ball game tonight. This one's going to stay playable for Morgan Ensberg. Oh, and Morgan can't finish with the catch. Khalil Green had a better look at that coming from shortstop, but Morgan's still getting his bearings here at Petco.
Right, and you know what? I think Morgan may have committed a little bit too early. As we take a look, he's calling off Khalil, so he honors that request. You can see Morgan Ensberg still pedaling, whereas Khalil Green behind him, I don't know if Khalil Green was saying anything, but clearly with Morgan Ensberg's arms waving, if you're the other infielder, you respect that and you back off.
They hang an error on Ensberg. And that second chance yields an opposite field single for Dave Roberts. That salts up the wound real good there.
Yeah, and nobody wants that ball back more than Morgan Ensberg. He is really upset. He's at third base kind of pacing with his head down right now. When you ask Morgan Ensberg, you know what, he wants that foul ball back. He's thinking, you know, I should have caught that. I should have caught that for my pitcher. Now the best thing that could happen right now is a one hopper to Morgan Ensberg in turn 2.
Randy Wynn, the batter, also a strikeout victim in his first plate appearance tonight. Just 1 for 14 career against Clay Hensley, including the appearance today. Durham next, and then Bonds once again. The home run chase, it has, of course, attracted a worldwide viewing audience. And part of the behind the scenes to broadcasting the event is that ESPN has been following the Giants around now for the last number of days, hoping to capture 755 and 756. There are days in which ESPN is prohibited from televising, and they have been furiously lobbying Major League Baseball to change start times to try to accommodate their broadcast coverage if the thing should get any longer. An example would be next Saturday. Fox is televising the Giants and the Pirates exclusively.
Right.
ESPN cannot, by Major League Baseball's agreement, they cannot cover that game.
Got it.
Nor can the Pirates, nor can the Giants locally. There's only one show in town that day. And it comes to ESPN's great chagrin that they can't set up their cameras and try to roll tape on it. Or live to tape on it. Here's the 2-0 home. Runner goes. Bard's throw down on Roberts will be too late. The doctor has swiped his 22nd of the year.
Well, Clay Hensley varied his moves. He stepped off, fake throw to first. He threw over to first, trying to disrupt the timing of Dave Roberts. And Dave gets a good jump. A lot of guys will key off that front foot, that heel. Once that heel is lifted up, some will focus on the front shoulder. Different parts of the picture that different runners will look at.
Three balls and a strike is a count now to Randy Wynn. When 756 is hit, of course, it's something that'll be relived often. My question to you after the 3-1, that's hit on the ground at first, face high hop for Adrian, 2 away. My question to you is, there's so much coverage now in Major League Baseball. You're going to have 3 different TV crews out there shooting it live. You're going to have all kinds of print, radio, internet. Which is the footage that you think will be the one that sticks?
That's a good question.
Because, you know, when Henry Aaron broke the record, there was one piece of footage. You know, Bobby Thompson's World Series winning home run, Giants win the pennant, Giants win the pennant. There's one shot you always see.
Who has the rights to Major League Baseball coverage that goes out to all the news sources? Is it that particular?
Well, I think the news sources could take whatever they'd like as Durham swings and misses. You know, ESPN kind of has the market on this thing. And they're not going to use any of the local calls. They're going to use their own guys.
Right.
There's so much that goes into something like this. The 0-1 to Ray. Durham misses the corner. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Do they come in bunches? Does another one come tonight?
Oh, that's a good question, Matty. I don't know.
And you know, as much as Clay Hensley didn't want to be the guy to let up 755, he sure as heck doesn't want to give up 755 and 756. Here's the 2-1 as Durham bounces that foul. Well, for Barry Bonds, 71 times in his major league career has he enjoyed a multiple home run game. That's another one of Babe Ruth's records that's going to fall. You know, you're pretty confident that Barry's going to have 1 or 2 more multiple home run games before it's all through. Two balls and 2 strikes to Ray Durham. The home run in the second came leading off the inning, number 755. And Bonds will wait on deck here once again. We play 2.5 downtown tonight. It's a 1-1 ball game. A 1-1 ball game. We go to the last of the third. Scott Hairston leads things off for San Diego. He has homered in 3 consecutive plate appearances, tying a franchise record. Brett Boone, Greg Vaughn, Steve Finley, Greg Nettles, and Nate Colbert was the first to do it back in 1971. Since the Hairston home run tonight, we should point out, Pat Mish has struck out 5 of the next 8 hitters that he's faced. And the rookie southpaw starts Hairston with strike 1 here.
He's got that release point down with that breaking ball. A lot of strikeouts via the breaking ball.
A base knock for Hairston.
Well, it wasn't off the sweet spot. Got jammed a little bit, but Scott Hairston will take it. Trying to bury the fastball inside. It was elevated around the letters, and when it's up, you just try to fight it off. The lob wedge in between the second baseman and center fielder. That's a knock.
So now Mike Cameron with Hairston aboard. Speaking of home runs in consecutive plate appearances, how about 4 in a game by Mike Cameron?
That's remarkable. Okay, what's more remarkable? That 4 home runs in a game, or the guy who set the record for most consecutive games with a home run? Mattingly had like 8, and the guy who holds the record, it's like back in the
Dale Long.
Right, Dale Long. With 10, I believe it is.
Junior came close.
Yeah, he did.
A number of years ago.
They're both amazing.
They're both amazing. What's more amazing? I don't know that I can answer that. I might be more impressed with 4 in a game, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's a swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 now to Mike Cameron.
Any way you look at it, it's a high budge stat.
Nothing more impressive than 3 home runs on 3 pitches in a World Series game, though.
Actually, it was 4 because it dated to a game before that. Reggie homered before that. The game before.
Gosh, you're right. That's rarely talked about.
Yeah. But I don't know if it was on the first pitch. You know what I'm saying?
Nothing in 2 the counts of Mike Cameron. Hairston aboard to start things in the last of the third, a 1-1 tie. And if you're tuning us in late, Scott Hairston opened the ballgame for San Diego with a home run in the bottom of the first. And then Barry Bonds got it back in the top of the second, number 755. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cameron. You know, there are so many more ramifications to talk about after the home run record is reset regarding Bonds and his future in San Francisco and his place in Major League history. A line shot into left field, a base hit for Cameron. Runners at first and second with nobody out. As we try to figure out the fate of that 755 home run ball, we check in with Steve Quist for some clarification.
All right, hey, thanks, guys. The actual person who caught the ball, it was a father and his son. They've actually been whisked out by elite security, but I'm sitting next to a couple of guys, standing next to a couple of guys that were right there. How about, excuse me, sir, how about Tom? What'd you see there? The ball bounced off the facade. It landed in row 1, seat 18, section 130.
It didn't land in row 1. It landed about 4 rows up.
And then bounced back?
Bounced down, straight down. So we were all searching for the ball. My wife's getting dove on. I'm trying to hold guys back and watching the floor. The ball disappeared. The guy who dove over from row 1 apparently grabbed that ball basically at my feet.
All right, so it landed in row 4.
Fighting a little anger here for not making a better effort.
Well, at least you get 15 minutes of fame. Let's turn over here. This is Ted. Ted's from San Diego. What'd you see out there?
The ball slapped up against the facade behind us. Like Tom says, it fell straight down, and it was like a rugby match. It was a massive scrum for the ball. Half of us were on the bottom fishing for it, and that guy came up with it.
Did either one of you guys envision dollar signs when you got it?
Well, yeah, sure.
That's what you were thinking?
Still am.
So what's it like right now knowing you were oh so close to a ball that might be a $500,000?
That's tough to live with. I had my decoy ball all planned out, and I couldn't get the nerve to pull it out and pull off my trick. So I'm fighting some anger here.
All right, now watch Barry hit the other one right to the same section. Watch you here.
The second one will be better. The second one will be worth more, so we'll fight harder for that one.
All right, again, guys, row 1, seat 18, section 130. That's where it landed, and the guy and his son have been whisked away, and we'll try and get a name for you by the end of the broadcast. Back to you up in the booth.
Hi, Steve. Thanks. Quist is down there with those journalistic instincts. He's going to get the name of the guy, so everybody's going to be at his house lined up tonight to try to roll the dude. I think if I were that guy, I wouldn't want my name going anywhere quite yet.
No way.
You know Barry Bonds wants that egg back.
How about the guy that surprised me that said on the left, he had his decoy ball all ready to go. Setting the decoy.
Bard fouls that one back. It stays 0-2 to Josh Bard with 2 on and 2 on rather, and nobody away. You know, one of the things that people have talked about throughout the last couple of weeks is Bud Selig, the commissioner of Major League Baseball. Will he be on the road? Will he be here for the historic chase? The commissioner was pinned into a really sticky spot. Darned if you do, darned if you don't. A no-win situation for Mr. Selig. He chose to come out on the road. He is here tonight as he was last night. There's the 0-2 to Bard, and that one's fouled back again. Commissioner Bud Selig sitting with Giants president Larry Baer. And, you know, he's handled this as well as anybody could. This is, again, a no-win situation for baseball, for Mr. Selig, that is. There's a contingent here as well from the Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. And I think of all the potential destinations for the baseball, we'd all agree Cooperstown is the most appropriate but the least likely.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate.
Well, there's the authenticator from the San Diego Police Department. He was here last night also.
Molina and Mish want to chat here before another 0-2 pitch home to Josh Bard.
Matty, how do they mark the balls? Is it like with a little laser thing or something, or like one of those hologram things? Is it like something that's lasered into the leather? I can't see them putting like a sticker on it, like you just bought one at a, you know, at a store, and they've got that Major League Baseball hologram little thing on the hat.
I understand it is a hologram.
Is it?
Yeah.
So it's an actual sticker?
Still 0-2 to Bard. Well, maybe Steve Quist can investigate. And in fact, you know, unfortunately last night, John Weisbarth tried to chat live on our telecast with Major League Baseball's authenticators, 2 of them here. And they were fine with it. They were ready to talk. Major League Baseball said no. Which is ridiculous, by the way.
Absolutely.
The 0-2 to Bard, lined into the corner, just foul. And Josh continues to stick around on 0-2. Steve Quist, you're still with us. Do you have any information on that authenticator situation?
I do, as a matter of fact. This will probably be my last appearance before Mike Wallace scoops me up for 60 minutes and his crew there. But you know what? There's on the baseball, there's a number. When I was looking by the authenticator before the ball game, so say number 131, and then there's a little inscription on top. It's like a B. If anyone's ever seen the logo for the Birmingham Barons, the minor league baseball team, it's kind of like that B right there, and then the number 131 or 127. So that's what the balls look like. I saw them up close and personal right before the game. Guys, back to you.
Hey, you might want to do something with that guy making faces at you behind you, by the way.
Hell yeah, let's go.
0-2 the count to Josh Bard. Has Barry Bonds been staying in the hotel with the rest of the team this trip? Because you could understand if he was somewhere else just to get away from it all for a while. Here's the 0-2 to Bard again. And this one's in the air in play. Roberts from center. Vizquel taking charge, 1 away. Elsewhere in the division tonight, by the way, the Dodgers trail Arizona 2-0. That's Livan Hernandez for the Diamondbacks and Derek Lowe for L.A. Eric Burns hit a home run in the first, and that got Arizona on the scoreboard. Here's Adrian Gonzalez now. Two aboard with 1 away. Adrian was caught looking at strike 3 in the first inning. We mentioned earlier that Pat Mish is working tonight in the Giants rotation in the rotation spot previously occupied by right-hander Matt Morris, who was dealt away to the Pittsburgh Pirates right before the deadline in a trade that really baffled a number of people, if for the only reason then, you know, Pittsburgh's not exactly just one guy over the hump. Adrian swats a fly ball into center. The thought was that Morris, who's been through the battles before, might go to a contender. You know, that team that's looking for that one starter. The Bucks, by everyone's standards, are not that team. And Pittsburgh agreed to pick up his money for next year as well.
I was going to say that's a lot of money they're picking up.
The Giants were elated to find a surprise suitor to try to shed a little payroll. And his departure has opened up this opportunity for Pat Mish tonight.
Yeah, and he's possibly pitching for a spot in 08 in that rotation. With the stuff we've seen tonight and being left-handed, it's a great opportunity for him.
Khalil Green, the batter now. Greeny fly to right in his first try.
Matt Morris making $10 million this year.
And I think it's a little north of that next year. A flare for Klesko. And the two leadoff singles die aboard. Mish strands a pair. Bonds leads off the fourth, tied 1 apiece.
Top of the fourth, we are tied 1-1, and number 25 Barry Bonds strolls plateward, and he is our featured Valley View Casino Colosso hit of the game. In the second inning, leading off, there it is. 755 career home runs for Barry Bonds, tying him with Hammer and Hank Aaron. The Colosso hit of the game is brought to you by the all-new Valley View Casino, San Diego's favorite casino.
Here's Bonds for the second time tonight. I reiterate Clay Hensley's desire not to be the guy that gives up 755 and 756. And how that affects this plate appearance is playing out right before our very eyes. 2-0. Oh, he came into him. He pitched to him on 2-0. And Bonds was out in front of that changeup just a little bit.
Even the foul balls, people are getting excited. And it's the speed of that changeup out in front just a tad.
The 2-1. Up and in, 3 balls and a strike. Klesko and Molina to follow here in the top of the fourth. The 3-1, and there's ball 4. A predictable, if not understandable, outcome.
Well, with the way he hit that first home run in the second inning, Clay Hensley's thinking, you know, I'm going to have somebody else try to beat me. Let's go to work on Ryan Klesko. Maybe I can throw a grounder here and get 2. 2 guys that don't run well.
Look at all the people up out of their seats now to hit the concession stands in the restrooms. They're not leaving yet, folks. They're just going elsewhere at this point in the ballpark as Klesko rings one into right field. Bonds into third. Klesko at second. Runners at second and third to start the inning here in the fourth. Ryan Klesko, the subject of our Aflac trivia question tonight. We ask, how many times has Ryan Klesko hit 30 or more home runs in a season? We remember those big seasons Rhino posted at Qualcomm in the early part of the decade. So with runners at second and third now, here's Benji Molina. Molina grounded to shortstop in his first try tonight. You know, regarding Bonds, and we started to talk about this a little bit earlier, what beyond 2007? It's a free agent at the end of the year. There's been a lot of discussion in San Francisco about the Giants moving forward, quote unquote, moving in a new direction, whatever that might mean regarding Bonds. No one should be surprised if Barry Bonds chooses to play another year. A ground ball to third. That's going to bring in a run as Ensberg throws out Molina. One in, one out, a runner at second base for Pedro Feliz.
Well, I think depending on the way things are talked about as far as negotiations with teams as he's a free agent, maybe might come to the conclusion that, you know what, I've had enough. It's time to retire. Hang him up.
Here's why I think personally, and I have no insight. I don't like putting words in somebody's mouth, but should Barry Bonds continue to play, this is why I think he'll reach that decision. He is still one of the Giants, if not the Giants' most productive offensive player this year. You know, the skills might not be what they were 6 years ago, but they're still pretty doggone good. If he continues to play next year, 3,000 hits is well within his sights.
That's right.
I mean, boy,
it's less than 100, right?
He's going to be the all-time home run king and have 3,000 hits. And the all-time runs scored record will be within his sights next year. Pedro Feliz wraps a ground ball to shortstop, and Green throws him out. 2 away now. Right now, Barry Bonds has scored 2,208 career runs. He has passed both Hank Aaron and Babe Ruth on that record list for third all time. Ty Cobb is next. He could get to Ty Cobb's number this year. And then if he plays another season, he's going to be about, I don't know, 40, 50, 60 away from Rickey Henderson in the all-time record next year. Here's Omar Vizquel now.
How will the body hold up? That's another question.
Physical opportunity, emotional opportunity, you know. And then if he decides to play next year, do the Giants want him back? How'd you like to be the Giants coming to that decision? You don't want the guy to finish his career anywhere else. I mean, he could pick another team. He could blow his chances somewhere else.
He can pick wherever he wants to go.
Here's Pat Mish now with runners at first and second. Vizquel draws the walk. And Mish offers it the first pitch and grounds it to second base for Blum. San Francisco gets one in the fourth. Through 3.5, it's 2-1 Giants. Two to 1 San Francisco. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning and answer the Aflac trivia question. How many times has Ryan Klesko hit 30 or more in a season? Twice. Once as an Atlanta Brave back in '96, and once with us here in San Diego in 2001.
Speaking of home runs, since the home run is the big story, Ryan Klesko, the question. Barry Bonds, career number 755, tying him with Hank Aaron. Hank Aaron, no, a lot of people don't realize this. Hank Aaron never hit 50 home runs in a season.
Yeah.
He hit, I got it marked down here, 47 home runs, the most home runs in a season. 1971, he had 47 round trippers.
You know, comparing players is difficult and at times unfair. We'll do it anyway. Well, they played during a different vintage of the team, certainly a different vintage of baseball. Hammer and Hank played in more games throughout his illustrious career. And I don't think Barry Bonds is going to finish with as many hits as Hank Aaron. My goodness, almost 4,000 knocks. A higher career batting average. More runs batted in for the moment. There's a ground ball to third. And Feliz throws out Ensberg. There's one away.
Those are unbelievable numbers because everybody thinks of Henry Aaron as the home run guy, right? Well, now Barry Bonds is tied, but you look at the hits, the RBIs, the career batting average.
One away now. Jeff Blum, the batter, a strikeout victim back in the second. Jeff Blum has been San Diego's hottest hitter since the All-Star break, and his .400 average since the break entering play tonight. Fourth best in the National League over that period. 2 balls and no strikes to Jeff. Rob Makoviak waiting on deck for San Diego. The Dodgers are on the board at home against the Diamondbacks. It's 2-1 Arizona. That's a 5th inning score. Elsewhere in the West, Colorado defeated by the Atlanta Braves once again at the TED. 6-4 Atlanta, the final score there. Blum takes a strike to make it 3-1. The 3-1 to Blum. Hit well to left field. Bonds on the move, and he can't make the catch. Jeff into second with a 1-out double.
Plummer. He's been swinging the bat extremely well. And from the right side of the dish, getting those hands through. Watch him get a hands through. Get in there and get out of there. Talking about that pitch, and leaping is Bonds just over his glove. Tries for the barehanded grab. Cannot come out. That's a for sure double anyway.
So now Rob Makoviak with a chance to knock in a run. Well, one of the things you forget about Barry Bonds, because he's turned into such a tremendous power hitter. He used to be a heck of an outfielding left fielder. He used to run.
Oh, how about the stolen bases? You bet.
8-time Rawlings Gold Glove Award winner, though his last one was in 1998. So it's, you know, you feel like when you bring up the fact that he's an 8-time Rawlings Gold Glover, his last one came a decade ago. Different guy, different body. .32 at the time of his last Gold Glove. 42 years old now. And Mish balls behind Makoviak 2-0.
Boy, they've been taking a long time. They can't get on the same page, especially with the runner on second base.
And this is like a chicken and egg thing, you know, which came first? Are they taking a long time because Mish is falling behind early in the counts, or is he falling behind early in the counts because they're taking a long time?
That sounded funny, just you saying that.
But you know what I mean, though?
I know exactly what you mean.
You're absolutely right.
It's definitely messing up his rhythm.
Yeah.
There, look at that. Oh, no, come on. On the swing or on the call? If that's on the call, that's a bad call. That's a ball out of his hand.
It's got to be on the swing. I can't imagine that being called.
He didn't point. The umpire didn't point.
You're right.
He just did his regular called strike sign.
2 balls and 2 strikes to Makoviak now. Additional security in the ballpark, more elite guys, more SDPD.
I thought that was Randy Smith. Joined the force. Not only is he scouting, he's protecting and serving.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
Wow.
Yeah, and Mish has got to step off again. Fans are getting a little froggy, and now Molina will come out to have a little chat. This has not gone without Jeff Blum's notice, who finds the whole thing funny.
Well, if a pitcher has a lot of pitches, let's say 3 or 4 pitches, maybe 5 pitches, you start rolling over, generally speaking, and I'm not saying this is the case for everybody, the most common sequence you hear is first sign after 2, okay? So the catcher will give a sign. 1, 3, 2. Okay, the next sign is a 1, it's a fastball. Next sign is a 2, it's a curveball. So then you have to roll it all over again if you shake him off the first time. But if you shake him off, then it's usually first sign.
And a called strike 3 taken after all that. That's 6 punch outs for Pat Mish.
Oh my. That's on the corner of Imperial and 16th.
That's pretty far away now.
Yeah, it is.
So here's Hensley, a strikeout victim in his first appearance tonight. Plodding along during a rather deliberately played bottom of the 4th. 2-1 San Francisco. Hensley takes a strike. Diamondbacks have added 2 more runs in Los Angeles. It's in the top of the 5th inning now. 4-1 Arizona. Oh, 0-2 to Hensley. Tomorrow's finale pitches left-hander Noah Lowry against San Diego right-hander Justin Germano. 1 o'clock start time here on Channel 4 as Hensley swings and misses at strike 3. So nothing comes of the 1-out double. We played 4 complete downtown tonight. It's 2-1 for the Giants. Viejas mid-game recap. It's 2-1 San Francisco. Back alongside Mark Grant, Matt Vasgersian. The Giants on top by a run. And the sub-story tonight, Barry Bonds, home run number 755. And I don't know, maybe the score through 4 is the sub-story. Maybe Bonds is the headline story tonight, depending on your perspective. An arguable point. Dave Roberts leads things off in the Giant 5th. Roberts, Wynn, and Durham the top of the order here for San Francisco. Should somebody get on base, Bonds would bat 4th. And there's a strike to Roberts, 0-1.
Well, Matty, our David West, the crafty left-hander, came up with an interesting stat. I asked him, you know, Barry Bonds has hit 755 home runs off of 445, is it now, different pitchers?
445.
Hank Aaron hit home runs off of 288 different pitchers. Now remember, the leagues were smaller back then.
Right.
So he faced a lot of guys a lot of times. A difference of 157.
Ball and 2 strikes to Dave Roberts. He has singled and struck out tonight. Little pop behind shortstop for Khalil Green. 1 gone to start the 5th. The speculation on whether or not Barry Bonds would play tomorrow really started to intensify when the trip began. They started in L.A. and everybody's trying to, plot out on their grids, well, maybe he'll play this day, maybe he won't play this day. After yesterday's opener here, in which Bonds went 0 for 4, the conventional wisdom was that Barry would not play Sunday. He rarely plays day after night game. No swing by Randy Winn there. But there was this kind of groundswell of sentiment toward maybe Bonds would play on Sunday. He took the extra BP at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and if he finds something in his swing that he likes today, maybe he'll tell Bruce Bochy, hey, I want to go out there on Sunday too.
You know what else I would take into consideration? And once again, this is just being a fan and watching the game. Being on the bases and playing left field, he has had to run a little bit more tonight, don't you think? Going after that ball in left field, that takes its toll on the knees.
Yep.
Now, after the game, maybe the knees start to swell a little bit. I'm sure he's packed in ice. You see the trainer, you see the masseuse, whatever the case may be. And you might want to take a blow tomorrow. Who knows?
Two balls and a strike to count to Randy Winn. Meanwhile, Winn is 0 for 2 tonight. 3-1. With Bonds, Randy Winn is the name you most often see among Giant offensive leaders this year. Winn leads the team in games played, batting average, hits, doubles. Out to right center field. Makoviak is back there near the 400-foot sign to make the catch. The only deeper right center field in the division in the game is in San Francisco. 2 away for Hensley now, and Ray Durham will be the batter.
Death Valley. Oh, the temperature gets hot out there, Matty. There's like skulls of like cows and horses out there and rattlesnakes. Like in the movies. You might see Chevy Chase out there with like a tie around his head.
Tripping over an ottoman.
I love a parade.
1-0 home, misses down low. It's 2 balls and no strikes to Ray Durham, who is also hitless tonight. Bonds waiting on deck. 2 more for Arizona in Los Angeles. Now 6-1 for the first place D-backs. It's a 5th inning score. And it's 3-0 now to Ray Durham. Josh Bart comes out to chit-chat.
Just like that, Josh Bard noticing something maybe in the mechanics of Clay Hensley, or just a refresher course saying, come on, dude, let's go. Let's try to focus in here, get that release point down, and get this guy working underneath the baseball, kind of pushing it a little bit. That's why you see those sinkers sometimes go up and away. That's an adjustment.
That's a fastball for a strike. It's 3-1 now. Again, Durham was the one Giant with the best career numbers against Hensley at the start of the night, but he takes ball 4 here. The 4th walk by Clay tonight, and now Bonds. A home run and a walk. He scored both of San Francisco's runs. They change out the baseballs. The specially hologrammed onions being put into play. Say what you will about Barry Bonds, love him or hate him. This home run chase has been pretty exciting to be a part of.
Absolutely.
It's been exciting to watch. It's brought a lot of excitement to San Diego, as it did to Los Angeles. Here we go. First offering to Bonds is in the dirt. I know you were asked this question, as I was, as a lot of people were who have been lucky enough to be along the way of this thing and watch it. How are you going to call it? What's your home run call going to be? There's the 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. The suggestion was made to Vin Scully when this home run chase was in Los Angeles earlier in the week. Hey, Vinny, maybe you should do some real shticky home run call, like come up with a rhyme or do like a song lyric or something. Can you imagine that? The classiest voice in the game, you know, a guy who's just always done the right thing when given a choice on the air, going into some ESPN news shtick. Here's the 2-1 to Bonds. 3-1 now.
Pretty good pitch.
All right, Mike Cat, you're on the mound. What do you do here? You're 3-1 after getting maybe squeezed on this ball. Wow, that is a good pitch.
Well, runner on first base, you know, he likes the fastball. I'm going to have him try to, he's got such a good eye. That's the thing. Sinker down and away. Sinker down and away. That's my final answer. I don't need any lifelines or help from a friend or even from the audience.
Durham with a conservative lead off first, but Clay checks in on him twice anyway. And the 14-time All-Star waiting for a 3-1 pitch with a man aboard and 2 away. Ball 4. And I don't think Clay's heart was in it after it got to 3-1. When he didn't get the call on the 2-1 pitch, he wasn't about to make a mistake. So back-to-back 2-out walks, and it'll bring up Ryan Klesko, who has doubled tonight. Here comes the left-hander. And that's going to be all for Clay.
Remember, he's on a pitch count after those relief appearances. So right now, 75 pitches for Clay Hensley. And you know what? He's done a fine job tonight.
Will Ledesma, one of the new Padres, one of the recently acquired pre-deadline. And Justin Hampson had been up. And it's going to be Hampson for San Diego, with 2 on and 2 away here in the 5th. This pitching change is brought to you by Seaside Buick Pontiac GMC. Check out their huge discounts, 0% financing, and factory bonus cash on selected models. A pitching change, and we'll be right back.
Two-1 San Francisco, top of the 5th, and a pitching change and a handshake from Darren Balsey, the pitching coach. And from that conversation, it looks like the pitching coach is happy with the way Clay Hensley threw the rock this evening. He walked 5, 1 was intentional. And with the new pitcher, these pitcher stats brought to you by Mission Federal Credit Union, where your mission is our mission. Open a high-yield checking account today.
Justin Hampson for San Diego, making his 20th appearance of the year here tonight. He last worked on Wednesday against Arizona and allowed a couple of hits in a scoreless inning in 2/3. They'll get Ryan Klesko to try to put an end to the top of the 5th inning and keep it 2-1 Giants. First pitch to Klesko is fouled away.
Well, Josh Bard got a piece of that foul tip.
Did he get that on his throwing hand?
I think he may have gotten it on his glove hand, like maybe the forearm. Let's take another look.
Oh, yeah.
On the shoulder, it looks like, huh?
Did you see how the pad flew up and it got him right underneath where the pad should have been? Velcro that doggone thing down there.
It's a good idea. You may have just thought of something there, Cha-Cha.
Call the patent office, quick. I'm an idea man. Ideas. I'm coming up with them all the time. I got one edible paper.
Feed the tuna fish mayonnaise.
1-2 to Klesko. San Diego will have the top of the order when we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And again, Justin Hampson hoping to deliver it there. Just a 1-run game. Missing outside by design with the slider. It's 2-2. The 11th sold-out crowd of the year. They have been witness to a piece of Major League Baseball history tonight. Klesko hits that one on the ground to first as Adrian flips it to Hampson covering. Justin does his job and helps set the Giants down without a score in the 5th. Middle of the night, 2-1 Giants. Padres Padres baseball is brought to you in part by Barrett American. Visit Barrett.com to view Aragon, Barrett's La Mesa townhomes priced from the 400,000s. By Earl Scheib, got dents and dings? Mudcat, visit an Earl Scheib paint and body for a free estimate. Check them out at carpainting.com.
Earl Scheib.
And by Hometown Buffet, hurry in for Steak and Shrimp Fest Monday through Sunday nights.
Need some points, Matty. Points.
Yeah.
Foster Brooks inning. Top of the order. Sounds like a good combination.
Foster Brooks inning.
Yeah, bottom of the 5th.
Oh, very nice. Scott Hairston leads things off against Pat Mish.
Tell you what, Scott Hairston's really been laying that willow on that onion, huh, recently?
Three consecutive plate appearances with home runs for Scott Hairston. He led off tonight, last of the first. Solo shot after driving in all 4 with a pair of late home runs yesterday. 1-1 the count to Scott Hairston. Hairston, Cameron, and Bard in the San Diego 5th. One and two. Part of Pat Mish's story, as we continue to profile a guy making his first ever major league start tonight, is made very interesting by an almost in his amateur career, almost not play soccer collegiately. His dad was a baseball guy and was pleased that Pat chose his favorite pastime. But soccer had come first for Pat Mish. He was ready to give up on baseball at one point and focus his career on playing soccer at Miami University of Ohio, where a scholarship was waiting for him after high school. However, Miami's soccer program went away because of Title IX reform. So he chose to play baseball in college. And by the time he had left Western Michigan, he had set some records that still stand. Strikeouts in a game, had a 19 strikeout game as a collegiate.
I don't care what level you're at. You punch out 19, that's a good night.
Yeah. It's a full count to Scott Hairston, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Cameron next. Here's the next offering home to Scott, fouled away. Brian Giles and Milton Bradley once again unable to start tonight. Day to day. Brian because of an ankle, Milton because of a hamstring. In their stead, it's been the newly acquired Hairston and Makoviak. On 3-2 once more. And another foul ball. Still 6-1 Arizona in Los Angeles. That game's now in the top of the 6th inning. And now we have some attention being paid to Scott Hairston. The last thing the Padres need is another injured, versatile player. Hairston seemed to have fouled that last 3-2 pitch off his foot or his ankle.
Well, you know, when you get a left-handed pitcher like Mish out there, you've got a right-handed hitter. They've got that big looping curveball. A lot of times when they bear it inside, the hitter is not quick enough to square up on it. You top the baseball, and it goes down to the foot. Let's see where it hits. Oh, yeah. Right off the instep, it looks like. That looked like it hit above the tongue of the shoe there, Matty?
I couldn't tell.
That hurts.
He's going to tough it out.
What happened to Bucky Dent when he fouled one off his toe that one game?
He hit a dinger the next pitch, didn't he?
Believe it. Off Mike Torres.
What are you trying to put a little karma out there?
A little mojo?
The man still referred to as Bucky Bleeping Dent all over New England. Will you take a knock into the opposite field?
Sure.
On your mojo scale?
Sorry about the 3 safeties tonight.
As the official team of the military, the Padres offers $6 off tickets priced $12 or more for all non-premium home games. This discount's available to any active duty, reserve, and retired military members, their dependents, and DoD employees. Visit Petco Park or participating military-based ticket offices for your tickets today.
Well, Scott's dad, Jerry Hairston Sr., has to be happy tonight. The Chicago White Sox from 1973 through 1989. Happy for his son. Last couple days. Did you ever look at the career of his dad, Jerry Hairston?
Had a heck of a career.
Briefly with the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1977, but for only 51 games, been then right back to the White Sox from 1981 to 1989. Started in the big leagues in 1973.
Ball and no strikes, account to Mike Cameron. The Hairston family has put a number of people through the big leagues. Scott's grandfather started in the Negro Leagues. He was the first African-American player to play for the White Sox. You mentioned Dad Jerry. Cameron with a drive well hit to right. Wynn is back in Cox Alley, and it's off the scoreboard. Mike hit his own pitcher. Here comes Hairston gimping in to score. Cameron to third, and we're tied at 2 apiece.
A real stinger to right center field. A breaking ball. That was a pitch he could have pulled, but you're right, Matty, right off the wall. And one of the most exciting plays. I love the triple. Love the 3-bagger.
The RBI triple for Mike Cameron brings Dave Righetti out to the mound. The Giants are getting their bullpen hot in a hurry. For Cameron, meanwhile, it's RBI number 55 on his team-leading 5th triple of the season. Big Randy Messenger is the guy warming up for San Francisco, and it looks like they're trying to buy more time for him to get him into the ball game right here. We'll see if Bruce Bochy comes out next, or if Mish is allowed to face Josh Bard, who's doubled against him tonight. He's going to have to face him now. Meanwhile, Scott Hairston has gone up the tunnel into the clubhouse. Infield's in for Bard.
You know, I'm guessing, I was just going to say, you have to be looking for that breaking ball. Why? Because if he places it correctly over the plate, you top that base while you hit it on the ground. The infield is in, as you mentioned, Matty. You get your grounder and you hold that runner at third base.
1-1 to Josh. Gonzalez next, the left-handed hitter. And then it's the right-handed batting Green and Ensberg. So we'll see what Bruce Bochy does here. Matchup-wise, you'd think that Mish should be allowed to face one more batter after Bard, but it might pen this at-bat. 1-2. Josh Bard has been outstanding in situations like this one. A .383 batter with runners in scoring position this year.
To me, that tells me that Josh Bard is having a great approach and realizing that the pitcher is the guy in trouble. Being patient to get a pitch and not necessarily rocket the pitch to pull the ball from either side of the plate, hitting it where it's pitched. A lot of guys that get froggy and they see a pitch on the outer half, they'll try to pull it, and then you get the old grounder.
Josh's .383 runners in scoring position batting average is a team high, by the way. On the ground to third. That's a fair ball. Cameron's tagged out. Feliz throws to first, not in time. Wow. Oh, my.
You know what I thought happened there? I think Mike may have anticipated that ball being fouled.
I think you're right.
He gets caught off the bag. By that time, Pedro Feliz is past the bag, so Mike has nowhere else to go. Tough break for the Padres.
Bard reaches on what scored a fielder's choice play. Man. As circumstantial as that play may have seemed, give credit to Pedro Feliz. Swing and a miss by Gonzalez. Feliz has the National League's best fielding percentage at third base this year. He's only kicked 4 baseballs all year. Third baseman, 4 errors, and we're into August. He has had a fantastic year fielding the ball. You know, the word on Pedro Feliz is a defender had always been adequate, you know, good but not great. Statistically, at least, he has been great this year.
90 games at third base this year. It's pretty darn good.
That's almost a full boat.
Yeah.
1-2 to Gonzalez. Boy, it looked like San Diego was primed to take the lead, having scored 1, a runner at third with nobody out. A bit of a setback on that ground ball to third base. And a swing and a miss. 8 strikeouts for Pat Mish in his first ever big league start. Khalil Green now. Greeny 0 for 2 this evening. He has popped to first and flied to right. Arizona now on top of the Dodgers 8-1. Game going into the bottom of the 6th. A ball and a strike to Khalil Green. I know that Pat Mish is left-handed and all, but he's got a little bit of the Steve Traxel in him, doesn't he?
Yeah, believe it.
Takes a sweet time out there.
I know he didn't major in communications at Western Michigan because he's having a tough time communicating with Molina. That was a joke, by the way.
I got it. I just didn't find it very funny.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
San Diego will settle with 2 hits and a run. Tied 2 apiece. Best make-out music in the world, Led Zeppelin.
Hey kids, come see us take on the Giants Sunday, August 5th at 1:05 and take home a 44 car, the Jake Peavy Hot Wheel.
All kids 14 and younger will receive a Padres Hot Wheel presented by Nestle Drumstick and brought to you by KSON FM. Visit Padres.com for tickets. A 2-2 ball game through 5 innings downtown as San Diego goes to the bullpen for the 2nd time tonight. Right-hander Doug Brocail will get the 6th.
Well, tie score, battle of the bullpens. Well, for San Diego at least. Mish is up around, I would say, 90 pitches. So Doug Brocail always working from the stretch and the bottom of the order.
Benji Molina leads things off in the San Francisco 6th. Molina drove in the Giants' 2nd run of the ball game on a ground ball in the 4th. Trying to extend a modest 5-game hitting streak tonight as he lays off and takes a strike. It's 1-1. After tomorrow's homestand finale, the Padres head to St. Louis and Cincinnati next week. The Giants will return home. They'll host Washington and Pittsburgh this coming week in San Francisco. It's a ball and 2 strikes to Benji Molina. That's a fair ball. Ensberg has the long throw and a great play on the receiving end by Adrian Gonzalez.
Well, I say it all the time. Two ends do a great play. That ball over the bag, and then even with Molina running, he gets him by 3 or 4 steps, but the footwork of Adrian Gonzalez, realizing the flight of the baseball, having to make the adjustment, and those in-between hops are the toughest.
Especially when you're hanging on the corner of the bag. That was really a tough play.
Yeah.
There's Feliz now. He's walked and grounded to shortstop, and a slider's in for a strike.
That was a peach.
High fly ball into right field. With Makoviak there for it, we check in with Steve Quiss.
All right, thanks, guys. Wouldn't you know it, of all the people to catch home run ball number 755, I've got the particulars on the man who did it. He's a 33-year-old from La Jolla. He had his cousin with him, who was also a male, between the ages of 18 and 21, and security actually took the cousin off first as a decoy, and then the 33-year-old guy just kind of walked out. They have him in a private suite now. I'm told he's going to talk after the game. I'm not going to give you his name right now, but his mom actually bought him the tickets a couple of days ago, gave it to him. He was in tears while passing it around with other members of the security. It's been authenticated, and he called mom and said, guess what? I caught the baseball. Guys, back to you up in the booth.
Steve, thanks. That's good information. And, you know, I guess Major League Baseball or Elite, I'm not sure who hatched this plan to cart the cousin off as a security, but that's some really good subterfuge. I love that.
I love the whole decoy thing. The fan earlier said he had the decoy ball. You know, you roll it underneath the seats, and people scrum for that one when you know the other one's down about 5 seats. Then you got the Thomas Crown affair down there. Everybody's wearing, you know, derby lids out there. Which guy did we go get? Everyone's carrying a briefcase, dressed in the same outfit. And there was a baseball that was thrown onto the field. Had to be a fake baseball, obviously. Not a fake baseball, but not the authenticated.
Steve, what do you have on that?
Mud, it was actually. The other people that were sitting around the gentleman who caught the ball in section 130 said one of the first things they saw was someone in the left field stands that actually threw a decoy baseball out. I don't know if he was thinking people were going to run out there and try and grab it. But, yeah, that baseball that you saw thrown back on the field that you were talked about, that was a decoy baseball, guys.
Steve, thanks.
Good stuff.
Vizquel flies the other way to retire the side. They go down in order against Doug Brocail in the 6th, and we're still tied to apiece.
Don't miss watching us battle the Astros Friday, August 17th at 7:05 and enjoy the 4th annual Fiesta con los Padres event.
Bring the whole family to Fiesta con los Padres, presented by Union Tribunes Enlace, for a night of Latin music, entertainment, and a post-game Park at the Park concert. Where's that spaceman thing that they're shooting out there, Mudcat? Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
Like a scene out of Tron. Jonathan Sanchez takes over in the last of the 6th inning on the mound for San Francisco. He'll face Morgan Ensberg, Jeff Blum, and Rob Makoviak.
Jonathan Sanchez, 3-pitch pitcher, fastball, slider, and a change. And hits the innings pitch, not bad. High on the walk side, though. 30 plus, 20 free passes.
It's been a while since Jonathan Sanchez has been in a ball game. His 0-1 pitch is fouled away into the stands. Sanchez last worked back on the 26th of July against Florida, and he allowed a run on 2 hits in an inning and 2/3. Kevin Franzen is the new third baseman. That's the double switch that brings the new pitcher into the game.
Well, my scouting report was right on Pat Mish, a strike thrower, right? No walks for the lefty. I like this stuff.
Strike throw and a strikeout thrower tonight.
And on the flip side, a nice job by Clay Hensley, his first start coming back.
The Giants bullpen has been kind of an anomaly this year, statistically speaking. They have one of the lowest relief ERAs in the National League. Yet from a win-loss standpoint, you'd think that this group has really struggled. It's the 0-2 home to Ensberg, first of all, a ball and 2 strikes. And Bruce Bochy was forced to go to his bullpen often last night. Really, both managers dipped well into the pen yesterday for the series opener. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Morgan Ensberg. Last night we saw Vinny Chalk, Steve Klein, Randy Messenger, and Jack Tashner. Here's the 2-2 home to Morgan Ensberg, a swing and a miss. Here are some of the confusing numbers we talked about. Yes, it's a good relief ERA, but it's also a really bad winning percentage. San Francisco's pen 9-20, the worst winning percentage of any National League bullpen. What do you make of that, Johnny?
Well, I can make a hat, brooch, pterodactyl.
Here's Jeff Blum now with 1 away. Blummer has doubled and struck out tonight.
You know, you look at that stat. To me, it seems like it's close games, but they give up a run or 2 to lose the lead. It's not like they're giving up 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It does.
And that would drive any manager nuts.
Three balls and no strikes to Blum. The bigger picture between the Padres and Giants this year, and this is some of the things, some of the stuff that you might kind of lose when you stay locked on to Bonds, and it's understandable why you would. But the Padres have taken 7 out of 10 from San Francisco this year. And after this series is through, there are 6 more between these teams this season. A 3-game series here at Petco in middle September, and then 3 in San Francisco the final week of the season. Ball 4 to Blum, puts a runner aboard with 1 gone. What a bizarre final road trip San Diego will embark on at the end of September.
America's Dairyland.
3 in San Francisco, 4 at Miller Park to take on the Brewers. High fastball swung on and missed by Rob Makoviak, 0-1. The Giants finished their season with 3 games in Los Angeles. Now that's good schedule writing there.
You know what's ironic about that San Diego, Milwaukee?
Makoviak bunting. Feliz has to hurry. Franzen, that is, has to hurry, and the throw to first is too late. Kevin Franzen did everything he could do. But it's a bunt single by Rob Makoviak to put runners at first and second with only 1 gone.
Perfectly placed. Good bat control by Makoviak. And you know what? After you look at that play, Franzen, notice how Franzen gets the glove and then the transfer. If he tries to barehand that play, glove, transfer, that's 3 steps, and he gets to the bag just in time to beat the throw. But getting back to that scheduling, San Diego and Milwaukee the last 4 games, there could theoretically be 2 celebrations at the same ballpark winning the division.
Wow.
If the Brewers win and if somebody else loses for San Diego to get in, 2 celebrations in each clubhouse.
I never thought of that. You're absolutely right. Kevin Kuzminoff is the pinch hitter for San Diego. Kuz was used yesterday as a pinch hitter. He lined to center on a well-hit ball in the 8th inning last night. It was the at-bat before the home run by Scott Hairston. The broken bat ground ball, and the Giants can turn only 1. Runners at the corners with 2 away now. A nice round of applause for Scott Hairston. 2 home runs yesterday, a home run, a pair of singles, and 2 runs scored tonight. Looking to match a career best. All 3 of Scott's previous knocks came against the southpaw Pat Mish. Another chance to bat against the left-hander. Oh, we have revised the equipment a little bit after that foul ball off his foot. That's that. It looks like it was, ripped right out of the Peter Boyle collection from Young Frankenstein. In case you're wondering, the franchise record for hits in consecutive plate appearances is 8, established by 3 players, most recently Brian Giles in 2005. Scott Hairston's stretch is done after 5. San Diego leaves a pair. We played 6. It's still a 2-2 ball game. A 2-2 ball game as we go to the top of the 7th inning. This date in baseball history is brought to you by the San Diego area Chrysler dealers, home of the all-new beautifully engineered Sebring convertible by Chrysler. State in baseball history, August 4th, 1948. Ernie Harwell, the future Hall of Fame voice of the Detroit Tigers, begins his broadcasting career as a Dodger voice in a 5-4 win over the Cubs. Brooklyn traded a player to the Atlanta Crackers of the Class A Southern League to acquire Ernie Harwell, the only trade involving a broadcaster in Major League history.
I heard your name rumored around the deadline.
Really? Where was I going?
I can't tell you.
Kevin Cameron takes over to work on the mound in the top of the 7th inning.
When Scott Linebrink was traded at the deadline, talked to manager Bud Black, and he had indicated that, the pecking order guys are going to move up the ladder a little bit. Heath Bell, the 8th inning guy. Remember Kevin Cameron, the Rule 5 guy in spring training. He would pitch in games 8-1, 10-2. Well, Kevin Cameron now finds himself in a position to where he can get a W. Tie score, 7th inning, very crucial inning. And it looks like a double switch, huh?
Jeff Blum is on his way to left field. And we are only to assume that the problem that seemed to settle in with Scott Hairston prior to his 3rd hit when he fouled the ball off his foot has grown to be a bit more significant as Marcus Giles also enters. He takes over at second base. Jeff Blum has not made a start in the outfield this year. Our research team is getting on top of where Jeff has played this season. Kevin Franzen sends a fly ball into shallow right field. Easy play for Makoviak and 1 away. Well, this was the play where Hairston hurt himself. Foul ball off the top of the left foot.
Ooh.
Top of the order, Dave Roberts now 1 for 3 with a stolen base tonight. Shows bunt and a strike to Roberts.
And I'm sure all the people in Joliet, Illinois are hooting and hollering for the Joliet Catholic Hilltopper, watching at Jameson's on Black Road in Joliet.
Look at you.
Watching the Channel 4 feed. Rooting for the Hilltopper.
We're told we're going to be cutting away to a satellite shot of the folks watching in Joliet, Illinois at the bottom of the inning. Roberts fouls away the 2-1 pitch. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Dave Roberts. Still 2-2 to Dave. 8-2 in Los Angeles now as the Dodgers are on the board. It's the last of the 7th inning. And Roberts sends a fly ball into left. Jeff Blum handles his chances in outfielder. Fantasy League guys are loving Jeff Blum now. They can play him in left field.
That's got to be a weird feeling. First of all, the position. I mean, you're away from everybody. You're farther away from the pitcher. The ball off the bat is different. Don't forget about the equipment. Look at the glove he's using. Rather than the small middle infielder's glove, he's got a cesta out there. Oh, Blummer.
Born in left field. He can do it all. I want to see him go all 9 positions. Still tied at 2.
Hey fans, come watch us play the Houston Astros Saturday, August 18th at 7:05 and take home a Padres sports bag.
All fans in attendance will receive a Padres sports bag presented by California Center for Sustainable Energy and brought to you by Magic 92.5. Visit Padres.com for tickets. Mike Cameron leads things off in the last of the 7th. A 2-2 tie downtown tonight. Back with Mark Grant, Matt Vasgersian.
I got the Shillelagh hat on, Matty.
I've noticed how you really use the Shillelagh gear diplomatically. You don't take any of its magic for granted.
No, can't wear it out. Got to pick your spots.
Jonathan Sanchez continuing on the mound for San Francisco. He came out in relief for Pat Mish in the 6th. And though he walked a batter and gave up a single, it was a scoreless inaugural inning for Sanchez. The Dodgers are on the move up in Los Angeles. It's now an 8-6 lead for Arizona when in the bottom of the 7th inning. Nomar Garciaparra has homered again. 4 of his 6 home runs have come since the All-Star break. 1-2 to Cameron. Cameron, Bard, and Gonzalez in the 7th. If you're tuning us in late tonight, Barry Bonds has struck for home run number 755. It came in the top of the 2nd, leading off against Clay Hensley. Bonds will bat 2nd when we go to the top of the 8th tonight.
Those upper deck seats still occupied.
Oh, yeah.
Those people made their pit stop. They went to the concession stand. They got a corn dog, and they came right back.
That's chopped off the plate. It's going to be a tough play for Franzen.
Did he
catch a break there? Kevin Franzen pulled up, and it's a good thing he did because the ball took a hard left turn at Albuquerque. Foul ball.
And if he would have touched it on this second hop there, but he pulls back, it would have been a foul ball, but it checked up. It had that spin on it. It's the second bounce that always gives you the funky hop.
So still 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mike Cameron. Mike tied it with the RBI triple back in the 5th. And the 2-2 pitch misses high and away. A full count now. Cameron began the at-bat behind. It's a piece of it just to stay alive.
Hopefully Mike Cameron can do something here on this 3-2 pitch to get the cranks excited.
Cranks? What are you talking about?
Fans. Talking
Swing and a
old
miss.
1860 baseball lingo. Fans were known as cranks. Rooters, bugs.
Here's Josh Bard now. Bard has doubled in 3 tries tonight. A ball and a strike to count to Josh Bard.
Hey, you talked about Barry Bonds coming out early this afternoon at 3 o'clock. Took about 40 minutes of batting practice. Josh Bard heavy into the extra batting practice. We mentioned that before. Sometimes taking 150, 200 hacks a day.
Yeah, while it's unusual to see a guy like Barry Bonds out there early, not unusual to see Josh Bard out there early. The 1-2 to Josh into the opposite field. Slicing away from Wynn, and he runs it down in the bullpen. A great running grab by Randy Wynn.
I thought that ball had a chance to land in some fair real estate, but Randy Wynn can still go and get him. Ball nearly popped out of his glove. Looked like it was off the heel and then down into the webbing of the glove.
Here's Adrian Gonzalez now. Adrian is hitless in the series, 0 for 5. We mentioned how tonight is San Diego's 11th sellout of 2007, a crowd of 42,497. And including the media freeloaders here, I would imagine that there are well over 43,000 people in the ballpark. It's certainly interesting to note that the Giants have now played in front of 24 consecutive sold-out crowds, home or away.
Wow.
The Barry Bonds home run chase has yielded 24 straight sellouts. San Diego goes down in order in their half of the 7th, on to the 8th inning downtown tonight, and it's still a 2-2 ball game. Fans, it's time for the second phase of the Tribute to Tony Brick program. This is your chance to pay tribute to Tony Gwynn by purchasing a personalized brick honoring Mr. Padre. There are 4 different styles of bricks to choose from. Visit Padres.com today to be a part of Padres history. Keith Bell gets to the top of the 8th for San Diego.
Last time out for Heath Bell was yesterday, an inning. A couple of punch outs and 1 walk. The rest, bagels all the way across. And for Heath Bell yesterday, it was that 10th inning, and he had the victory. Improved his record to 5-3. It was Wynn, Durham, Lewis, and then Klesko. Those are the batters he faced in the 10th last night.
He will get Durham, Bonds, and Klesko in the top of the 8th inning this evening. First pitch home to Ray Durham misses the corner. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Durham has been on base in all 3, rather in 1 of his 3 plate appearances. The man on deck, Barry Bonds, 2 walks and a home run. The breaking ball is taken for a strike. It is Ray Durham, not Barry Bonds. It leads the Giants in 2007 with 57 runs batted in. So much of that is explained by the frequency with which Bonds has intentionally walked. And the 2-1 to Durham is swinging a tip foul. It's 2-2. Into left field, where Jeff Blum has been amazingly busy since getting out there in place of the injured Scott Hairston. And here's Bonds. This is how Clay Hensley worked to him when he hit the home run in his first appearance tonight.
First pitch sinker in there, trying to keep the ball low, and then pecking away, and the elevated fastball. That last dot that you saw was the highest of the 3 on the outside part of the plate. If you work it down, you get some movement down around the knees, you're going to get a grounder or a line drive.
Heath Bell and Barry Bonds have faced one another once. And with flash bulbs a popping as per usual, a ball to no strikes to Bonds. Bonds 0 for 1 in that previous plate appearance against Heath Bell. Off the corner to make it 2-0. Two runs on only 3 hits for San Francisco. The home run by Bonds, a single by Roberts, double by Klesko. It's 3-0 to Bonds, to the unbelievable ire of what we thought was a partisan San Diego crowd.
2 fastballs away and a backdoor slider that misses.
3 balls and a strike.
What do you throw here, Matty? Fastball away?
I guess. Fastball away that's fouled away.
Well, Heath Bell is getting it up there at 96. You can see why Barry Bonds is late, as everybody wants a piece of history. Bringing their camera to the ballpark.
Full count to Bonds. And the 3-2 from Bell. A high fastball, ball 4. Did you see how quickly Heath Bell got rid of that baseball after he walked Bonds? He knows the drill. You got to put the marked ball away, get it out of play, throw it back into the dugout. I ask you this, Greggy. Could Heath Bell have kept that baseball and pitched even though Bonds wasn't at the plate? Could he have used it anyway?
Well, I guess the answer, I guess he could have, because that numbered baseball's on record with the authenticator.
To see how quickly he just dumped it.
Right.
He didn't want anything to do with it.
You know what I'm saying? If that ball is in play, the authenticator's got that list down there.
Yeah.
If it is a list, chart, whatever, indicating what balls are in play when Barry Bonds is at the plate. So theoretically, yeah, probably my educated guess is that, yes, he could have used that baseball.
The pinch runner for Bonds is on the move on the first pitch home, and the throw down to second base is not in time. So Rajai Davis is in with a stolen base moments after getting into the ballgame to pinch run. Chance for Klesko to knock in a run with a base hit. And Rhino takes his strike. It's 1-1. We see the San Francisco bullpen active once again. Could it be that some folks are doing an Anaheim and leaving the ballpark in a 2-2 score? I think they're going to the John. That's what I'm saying. They're going to the concession stands. They're going to stretch their legs. Who's leaving in a 2-2 ball game?
I'm not.
Big swing and a miss at a fastball. Klesko lines it to second. Giles is there for the play.
Oh, he squared up on that one nicely.
Kevin Correa up in the bullpen for San Francisco. So Klesko retired now, and it's Benji Molina. Davis still that runner at second base. When San Diego bats in the bottom of the inning, they'll have Green, Ensberg, and Blum. Waving a miss, and Molina's behind 0-2. Exactly half of our offense combined tonight came early. Solo home run in the first by Scott Hairston. Solo home run in the second by Barry Bonds. Bell out of the stretch, and the 0-2 misses outside by design. A ball and 2 strikes.
We've got a look-alike from the truck. Bullpen coach Mark Gardner, who looks like Bud Black. That's from the truck. So don't blame me.
Fly ball into shallow right field. Makoviak parks under it to retire the side. They hold that runner at bay and keep it tied. A scoreless 8th from Heath Bell. Last of the 8th. A 2-2 ball game. A 2-2 tie, bottom half of the 8th inning. A reminder, come out and enjoy movies at the park featuring the Bad News Bears, August 11th at 7 o'clock right here at the Park in the Park. It's free, and participants are encouraged to bring a canned food item to donate to the San Diego Rescue Mission in St. Vincent de Paul. Concession stands will be open, and picnic baskets will be allowed.
That's the screen you'll be watching it on there.
Jonathan Sanchez will open a 3rd inning in relief tonight. On only 2 occasions this year has Sanchez been extended beyond 2 innings.
A little bit of trouble in that first inning of work in the 6th. Left a couple base runners, but a 1-2-3 7th.
Rajai Davis stays in left field for Barry Bonds after pinch running earlier. And the first offering to Khalil Green is taken as a strike. Greeny's hitless in the series, 0 for 7. The 1-1 to Khalil, bounces back up the middle and through a base hit to open the inning. Seaside Buick Pontiac GMC take us beyond the Saturday night box score. Atlanta over the Rockies 6-4. Tim Hudson pitching well in the start. 7 shutout innings, and Garrett Atkins' grand slam goes in vain. And look at the Dodgers. At one point they trailed 8-1. It's now an 8-7 Arizona lead. That's in the top of the ninth. LA was punted out of the top spot in the National League West recently, trying to scratch their way back. Punted out of the second seat last night by the Padres. There's Morgan Ensberg now with a leadoff hitter aboard. Ensberg's had a tough series, 0 for 7 with 5 strikeouts against the Giants. Bunting and pushes that foul. This is something that I did not know about Morgan Ensberg, and occasionally, Mudcat, we will glean a new nugget of information off the scoreboard here at the ballpark. Morgan Ensberg left the Astros ranked as their second all-time home run hitter among third basemen.
Wow. And Doug Rader, who managed in Texas for a little bit.
And the Angels.
And the Angels.
A 1-2.
Well, you think of Houston third baseman, you have to think of Ken Caminetti.
The Giants had their bullpen hot. Kevin Correa had been up earlier, and he is ready to roll should the fickle finger of fate point in his direction tonight. The switch hitter Jeff Blum waits on deck, and it's now 2-2 to Morgan Ensberg. Well, this has really been a deliberately pitched affair.
Snail's pace.
I mean, 2-2, 12 hits combined. Been a lot of base runners. Pat Mish was a very slow, deliberate worker.
Again. Steve Molina watching Bruce Bochy or whoever it was over at the bench giving some signs that'll slow it down a little bit.
Infield pop for Durham, and one away. Green stays at first. You know, this part of the order, Green then Ensberg, switch hitter Blum, left-handed hitting Makoviak, likely what prompted Bruce Bochy into making the decision to extend Sanchez for a third inning, because as we've noted, it's rare for him to go beyond 2 this year.
Remember, Jeff Blum swinging the bat well, and also swinging the bat well tonight, continuing with that double in the 4th inning from the right side off of Mish.
So now Blum, he's doubled and walked tonight. Again, San Diego's best hitter since the All-Star break, and one of the top 5 batters in the National League during that time. A chance here with a runner aboard and one away. And Blum behind 0-2.
Good swings from Jeff.
Fewer than 1,000 seats remain for tomorrow's homestand finale. The left-hander Noah Lowry, right-hander Justin Germano for San Diego. There is no final verdict as to whether or not Barry Bonds will play tomorrow, though conventional wisdom says he will take the day off. You know, that's another situation and another tight spot for Bruce Bochy. Say there is the perfect opportunity for Bonds to pinch hit tomorrow. Whatever that may be. Say San Diego's bullpen out of left-handed relief. Tie score late. You need a fly ball. You need a home run. Bonds would be Bochy's best chance.
He wants to win a game. I think he would pinch hit.
He wants to win a game, but everybody else wants Bonds to break the record at home. I will say this. I was a little surprised, maybe a little surprised, to see Bonds play really the rest of this game and take 3 more plate appearances after hitting .755. That's going to be an ending double play ball. 6-4-3, nothing in the Padres 8th. We go to the 9th, still tied downtown tonight, a 2-2 ball game. A 2-2 ball game as we go to the top of the 9th inning, and San Diego goes to the bullpen. Trevor Hoffman's appearances on this homestand have come exclusively in tie scores. He has not had a save opportunity here on the homestand, and he gets another tie ball game here in the 9th.
And you know what? They flip-flopped. Remember last night it was Trevor in the 9th, Heath Bell in the 10th. Heath Bell ended up getting the win. And in that 9th inning of work, 1 inning, he gave up a hit and he walked 1. No bells tonight, but a good opportunity for Trevor Hoffman to get a win, holding the Giants here. Happy birthday, first of all. And yes, a win would be nice.
Trevor pitched last night, most recently in the tie game, and worked a scoreless inning. He allowed a base hit and walked a batter. So as you mentioned, he'll appear in back-to-back games in the series under similar circumstances downtown. Mark Sweeney will be the first to face him. Mark Sweeney has cashed in with 14 pinch hits this season. Number 2 on the all-time pinch hit list, is the National League's top bench producer this year. Trevor starts him with a fastball for a strike. These two are more known as friends than adversaries, quite certainly. But they have had some memorable battles in opposing uniforms. I can recall a game here at Petco Park a couple of years ago. Mark Sweeney as a Rocky hitting a 9th inning home run against Trevor Hoffman.
Well, Omar Vizquel on deck, and look at him trying to creep up as close as he can to home plate, maybe to get a little better view of what Trevor Hoffman has to offer tonight. Well, the check swing. Wow. If he hits it, it's a double. He's very close.
He's in harm's way, first and foremost. As Sweeney lines to first, it's gobbled up by Gonzalez on a nice play, leaning into foul territory. There's one away.
Off-speed pitch pulled down the line, and nice job by Adrian going to his left.
Omar Vizquel now 0 for 2 with the base on balls tonight. We've just been handed a release from Major League Baseball distributed by the Padres Media Relations Office. Commissioner Bud Selig issuing a simple statement regarding tonight's historic home run by Barry Bonds. And I think the most interesting part of it to me, and we won't read the entire statement, as brief as it is, we won't read the whole thing, but the interesting part of it is that the commissioner says, either I or a representative of my office will attend the next few games and make every attempt to observe the breaking of the all-time home run record. That's newsworthy in that it was thought that the commissioner was leaving town after tonight's game. So he says in this release he may be here tomorrow and he may be in San Francisco next week. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Omar Vizquel. Here's the 2-2 from Trevor. San Francisco has left-hander Steve Klein up in the bullpen. And when the Padres bat in the 9th, they will have Makoviak, followed by the number 9 spot, and then Marcus Giles. Vizquel pokes a fly ball into shallow right field. Makoviak is there to make the catch for out number 2. So now Kevin Franzen. And on the first pitch, a fly ball into right. Makoviak there for this one. San Diego has an opportunity at a second consecutive walk-off victory against the Giants to the last of the 9th, the 2-2 ball game. Here we go, last of the 9th inning, a 2-2 draw. Rob Makoviak will lead things off against the left-hander Steve Klein, who takes over on the mound for San Francisco.
Steve Klein pitched the 9th last night. It was only a third of an inning, but zeros all the way across, and he punched out 1 San Diego Padre. That was the top of the order, and it was Rob Makoviak. Klein, a 3-pitch pitcher. You're going to see a lot of fastballs, sliders. He'll mix in a changeup.
Makoviak is singled, reached on an error, and grounded out tonight. From Steve Klein. Michael Barrett moves into the on-deck circle. There's a fly ball into the opposite field. Davis looked like he had lost it in the lights for a moment, but makes the catch. And it will be Michael Barrett being pulled back now because Michael's the last remaining regular. Buddy Black doesn't want to get caught, and Jake Peavy's going to swing it off the bench. You know, we are to assume that Milton Bradley's not available tonight.
Right.
And here comes Bruce Bochy. He's going to make a change. Steve Klein looks shocked. He's like, you're not going to let me face the pitcher? Kevin Correa is going to come out to face Jake Peavy. And right now, Bruce Bochy's explaining to Steve Klein, listen, I know this kid pretty good, and he's a pretty decent hitter. This is great. Pitching change brought to you by Seaside Buick Pontiac GMC. Enter Kevin Correa to face the pinch hitter Jake Peavy. We'll be right back. An interesting set of wheels being turned here with 1 gone in the last of the 9th. Kevin Correa, first of all, the new pitcher for San Francisco. He makes his 46th appearance of the year tonight. He leads the Giant relief corps in innings of work and strikeouts. And his opponent will be San Diego's Jake Peavy, swinging it off the bench.
That first pitch was a great fastball located on the outside part of the plate. Looked like it had a little cut to it also. Fastball, slider, and a change from Kevin Correa.
Marcus Giles on deck as Jake lays off an 0-1 pitch. A ball and a strike to Peavy. I would imagine that Jake had a hard time containing his enthusiasm over this opportunity to pinch hit. Really. He couldn't get in there quick enough. And it's 2-1 to him now. Kevin Correa last pitched on Thursday. A scoreless inning and a third up at Dodger Stadium as Jake sends a fly ball to second base. And Durham gloves it. 2 gone. So Marcus Giles is the only thing getting in the way of Kevin Correa and extra innings. San Diego needed 10 innings to win it yesterday. Marcus rolls over the first pitch and grounds it to shortstop. Vizquel throws him out, and we will go to extra innings again downtown tonight. To the 10th, a 2-2 ball game. This Skycam view is brought to you by Pivot from Cox and Sprint. Feel at home anywhere. Visit cox.com/pivot for more information. Unlimited calls between your Pivot wireless and Cox digital telephone. And download your favorite songs from the Sprint Music Store. In what has been a homestand filled with new Padres making their debuts, it'll be Wilfredo Ledesma. We call him Will for short, making his 14th overall appearance on the year here tonight.
So now when you talk about scorecard management as we go into bonus baseball, the only guy left in the bullpen for San Diego is Clay Meredith. Brian Giles has got the bad ankle as far as offensively for the Padres. Milton Bradley with the hamstring. And Michael Barrett, who was pulled back.
Will Ledesma made his Padre debut officially during the daytime romp over the Diamondbacks here on Thursday. Tossed a perfect inning with a strikeout in relief, combining with Jake Peavy and Clay Meredith for San Diego's 15th shutout of the year. Ledesma the compensation from Atlanta in the Royce Ring deal.
Both teams under 500, Matty, in the extra inning category. San Diego 6-9, and the Giants, I'm sorry, I was looking at versus the American League. I was wrong. Why'd you look at me like that? San Diego 7-7.
Because you're hot.
The Giants 5-10. So I almost had it right. I was half right.
2 balls and a strike to count to Dave Roberts. Oh, Will Ledesma just misses the corner there. 3-1 to the Giants leadoff hitter. Roberts is 1 for 4 with a stolen base tonight. Into the bonus baseball again. You know, I just noticed as I looked up to the park in the Park, Mudcat, that it is conspicuously vacant. And that's because fireworks tonight. It's another reason why everybody's sticking around. I mean, they wouldn't go anywhere to begin with. It's a 2-2 score. Slap to shortstop. Green's got to hurry. He gets it over to Adrian in time. As we remind you, for great savings, if you're looking for a new or a pre-owned vehicle, head over to one of the 6 Mossy Nissan locations. In fact, if you're looking for a new car, there are still some 07s left on the Mossy lots. Take advantage because they're trying to blow those 07s out to make room for the new 08s. If you know anything about the car business, August, September, great time to buy a new vehicle. Go to MossyNissan.com for information.
I stopped by the El Cajon store just to say hi to the guys. Eric Osborne, Jake McElroy.
1 away now for Randy Wynn. And Ledesma misses, or rather fires strike 1 on a delayed strike call by Darryl Cousins, your guy. Randy Wynn's 0 for 4 tonight.
Because he's Cousins, he's Darryl Cousins, and you'll find A call a strike, a call a balk, sometimes even.
You didn't sell that very well. That's some of your best material. You just didn't sell it.
Oh, sorry, Simon.
1-2 to Randy Wynn. Ray Durham, the on-deck hitter for San Francisco. It's really the opposite tonight in terms of whose bench is in better shape. As we talked about before, San Diego has only Michael Barrett. Wynn lines that into shallow right and just over Marcus Giles, despite a pretty good effort by Marcus. So Randy Wynn's aboard on his first safety of the ball game. Ray Durham, the batter now. 0 for 3 with a base on balls. For the Giants, the single by Randy Wynn. That's their first hit since the 4th inning. And the combination of Justin Hampson, Doug Brocail, Kevin Cameron, Heath Bell, and Trevor Hoffman, 0 hits allowed. One and one to Durham.
You know what else is nice about those lines you're talking about, the relievers? Only 2 walks. None of them scored. One by Kevin Cameron, one by Heath Bell. Making them earn their way on if they do get on base.
Ray Durham's been doubled up 13 times this year.
What's that you said?
Been doubled up 13 times. It leads the Giants. Ledesma out of the stretch. Oh, they had Wynn a little froggy off the bag there. You know, not only is Buddy Black running out of bodies tonight, you got to play tomorrow, and there's no day off on Monday. You know, the Pods hit the road tomorrow, and they will play on the road for the next 7 games. You're without Giles, Brian Giles. Milton Bradley's got the hamstring. Hairston fouled a ball off the top of his foot tonight. Might be a challenge filling out a lineup card tomorrow, my cat.
Might see the same lineup. Might see Michael Barrett catch. Remember, it's Justin Germano and Noah Lowry going on tomorrow's tilt.
Two balls and a strike to count to Ray Durham. There goes Wynn. Had a big jump. Bard's throw is going to be too late. Stolen base for Randy Wynn, his 10th of the year.
Now that runner at second base, Josh Bard will go out and talk with Will Ledesma to go over the signs. Just make sure he doesn't get crossed up. Clay Hensley tonight, 4 2/3. Gave up 3 hits, a couple of runs. He walked 5. 1 was intentional. And he punched out 3. He held the Giants close.
Still 2-2 to Ray Durham. Full count to Durham now, 3-2. You know, I'm thinking of some crazy alignments for tomorrow just in case people are still unavailable. And I'm thinking about, you know, Michael Barrett, who we saw in the dugout a moment ago. Michael Barrett played a lot of third base with the Expos. Now, there was a time when their then general manager Jim Beatty said Michael Barrett will be our third baseman of the future. Durham swings, tips it foul. It's hung onto by Bard, and that's 2 away for Will Ledesma.
Pitch up and away. Boy, Durham fooled by that pitch. Really wasn't on it. And that's the type of pitch also you really can't get hurt on. If he makes contact with that pitch, it's probably a foul ball out of play or a lazy fly ball to right field. So pitching away the strengths of Ray Durham. So with first base open, Darren Balsley having a little chat. And maybe a little scouting report about Davis.
Davis pinch ran for Barry Bonds after he walked in the 8th. Davis went on to steal a base. Rajay Davis looks a little bit like Aramis Ramirez. Neck up.
Yeah, he does. You're right.
A 26-year-old Connecticut native who will be intentionally passed here.
So it'll be lefty against lefty. Ryan Klesko waiting on deck.
Looking forward to San Diego's half of the 10th, and Ledesma trying to get it there with the tie score preserved. Cameron, Bard, and Gonzalez. Does that smell like a run to you?
Oh, believe it.
So Rajay Davis is aboard. Intentionally passed. Runners at first and second with 2 gone now. And it's the former Friar Ryan Klesko. Bruce Bochy thinking optimistically as he did yesterday. He's got his closer Brad Hennessy hot.
Oh my. Thank you. I have to laugh.
And go back out there again. Why not? Will Ledesma is listed in media materials at 6'4" or 212. That may be a conservative 6'4".
You think he's taller?
I think he might be an inch or 2 taller, and he's long to the plate. Klesko goes around, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. So the ex-Tiger, erstwhile Brave, is a strike away from sending it to the bottom of the 10th inning, scoreless tonight. And a one-time crowd of 42,000 plus that really has not dissipated by much, making some noise for their new reliever. 2-2 now.
You know, with the way that first breaking ball was called a strike, I think that Ryan Klesko would offer at that pitch, but that pitch was off the plate. We'll throw another one.
Ledesma's had to work hard this inning. This will be his 25th pitch here in the top of the 10th. And the 2-2. This, by the way, is the 4th occasion that the Padres have played extra innings on consecutive nights. They did it April 16th and 17th against the Cubs and Diamondbacks. May 31st and June 1st against Pittsburgh and Washington. And they did it earlier in San Francisco. Remember, in the end of June? Extra innings on back-to-back nights. They come in bunches indeed. Here's the 2-2.
Well, runners will be going. And the thing about that situation is that extra base hit, there's no doubt Davis is going to score. That's an extra run. Instead of 1 run, that's 2 runs.
The 3-2, and Plesko strikes out. Well, Ledesma really made him expand his strike zone there and punched him out in a breaking ball on the well outside. Padres baseball brought to you in part by Comerica Bank. We listen, we understand, we make it work. Well, San Diego has his 2nd consecutive chance to beat the Giants in extra innings. They converted in the bottom of the 10th inning yesterday on the Scott Hairston home run. Kevin Correa will face Mike Cameron to lead things off. Cameron, Bart, and Gonzalez for San Diego. Kevin Cameron finished the bottom of the 9th. He got the pinch hitter Jake Peavy. Yes, that's right, the pinch hitter Jake Peavy. And then he got Marcus Giles to keep San Diego scoreless through the 9th inning.
You know, it always looks like when Correa throws the ball on his follow through, like he slips out in front. He's got a weird action follow through. He falls off towards the first base side also. It looks like his footing isn't really all there.
There's a base hit for Cameron. And the winning run's aboard to start the bottom of the 10th.
Good night in the big leagues for Mike Cameron, his 3rd knock of the evening. Got to be laying one down here.
Josh Bart has doubled in 4 tries tonight. He indeed shows bunt and takes strike 1.
Have to be careful of Molina behind home plate and throwing behind the runner. That's why you can't get too big of a lead over there at first base. Even though there's a left-handed hitter, you cannot forget about that. A snap throw down to first base.
Josh pulls back on the bunt attempt. This time it's 1-1. You still got the bunt play on?
Absolutely. Me. Yes.
I'm asking you, the skipper, Mark Grant.
Yes.
Okay. Adrian Gonzalez next.
The thing is, even if it's a bad bunt, Mike Cameron's got good enough speed to get to second base.
All right, now it's 1-2. Now what?
Might have to have him swing away here.
Cameron measures off first base, an additional half step, and now Bard takes time. The Diamondbacks Dodgers game is a final now. 8-7 Arizona. They hung on to win after leading 8-1. The Dodgers came back to make it too close for comfort. So Arizona retains first place in the West. Bard does in fact swing away and sends a fly ball into left. Davis to make the catch. And Cameron's got to hold on at first. So now Adrian Gonzalez. A couple of fly balls and a couple of strikeouts for Adrian tonight.
You're looking at the defense in the outfield. Dave Roberts playing on the shortstop side of second base. And in right field, Randy Wynn playing about maybe 5 strides from the warning track. A huge gap out there in right center field. Cox Alley is wide open.
Adrian has homered against Kevin Correa. Even at 1-1 now. Moving forward, should we need an 11th inning tonight, San Francisco would have the 6, 7, 8 part of their order. It would be Molina, the pitcher spot, and then Vizquel. Khalil Green waiting next for San Diego here in the last of the 10th. A 2-2 tie. That's where we've been ever since the 5th. And Adrian now behind 1-2. Well, you know, one of the things that you look back on tonight on your scorecard is that when San Diego tied it in the 5th inning on the Cameron triple, it came with nobody out in the inning. So Mike was at third base, having tied the game, nobody out, and then Bard hit that tricky bouncer up the line.
Yep.
And Feliz was able to tag out Cameron.
Also in that 3rd inning, 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Top of the order. Hairston singled, Cameron singled, and then it was 6-8-3 fly balls to end that 3rd.
Cameron's running, and the pitch to Gonzalez is fouled away.
Oh, he had a great jump. He had a great jump. Oh. But with 2 strikes and the breaking ball near the plate, Adrian Gonzalez does a nice job of fouling that ball out of play, getting another chance.
Mike off to an aggressive lead from first. Here's the next 1-2 to Gonzalez, and it's a fly ball playable in left for Davis. That's the 2nd out of the inning. So now Khalil Green, Cameron stuck at first. Greeny singled in the 8th, his only hit of the series. Fly ball into left center field. Roberts says he has it. And we will go to 11 innings downtown tonight. A scoreless last of the 10th by the Grossmont High School product. Still tied at 2. A 2-2 ball game as we go to the 11th inning downtown tonight. Fans have certainly gotten their money's worth this series. Extra innings yesterday, the exciting win in 10. Tonight, Barry Bonds hits his 755th. Fireworks after the game, and we're still stuck at 2s in the 11th. First pitch to Benji Molina is fouled away. The Giant backstop is hitless tonight. He does have an RBI to his credit. A few years ago, the pre-Petco Park era Padres played some maddeningly long games against the Giants. It seems that when these two teams get together now recently, we can say the same. Recalling the back-to-back extra innings games played up at AT&T Park at the end of June.
I think it's just coincidence. What do you think?
I don't know.
Those are one of those stats that you really can't put your finger on the fact why it happened.
3-pitch punch out for Will Ledesma. The pinch hitter is Guillermo Rodriguez. A big swing and a miss. Rodriguez was called up from AAA Fresno in early June. Called up for the first time in his 12-year career. This guy has been in the Giants minor league system forever. Broken bat bouncer up the middle, and that's going to get him on base with one gone.
Well, it was off the end of the bat. It even sounded like that Rodriguez broke his bat, but the 18 hopper is gloved by Khalil Green. We've seen Khalil make some spectacular plays, but no way on that one.
So that'll bring back Omar Vizquel now. Vizquel for the night. 3 fly balls and a walk. Craig Biggio is rather Omar Vizquel trails only Craig Biggio, Barry Bonds, and Julio Franco among active players on the all-time hit list.
I just noticed something about Omar Vizquel's bat. You didn't notice the knob of the bat? It's almost like it doesn't have one. It's almost like a straight handle.
No knob, huh?
Knobless. You know what I'm saying? See how it kind of just... Usually there's that...
knob.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you know, you ever see the bats in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
They were knobless. Shard pieces of wood. Oh, you're right. Vizquel bounces at to third. Ensberg to Giles. Back to Gonzalez. They double him up. We go to the bottom of the 11th. Still tied 2 apiece. Fans hanging in there on this Saturday night downtown, though the Padres have doubled up the Giants' hit total. A 2-2 tie remains. It's where we've been stuck ever since the 5th. Left-hander Jack Tashner suffered the loss yesterday. He gave up the bottom of the 10th inning home run to Scott Hairston, and they're going to run Tashner out there in back-to-back appearances. He'll make his 46th turn here tonight. An ERA just under 6. Might come as noteworthy to some that the home run allowed yesterday was only the 3rd all year given up by Jack Tashner. But here we go with Morgan Ensberg to lead things off for San Diego, last half of the 11th. Ensberg, Blum, and Makoviak for San Diego. Last night's blip on the radar screen notwithstanding, Tashner has been stingy this year. He has held opponents to just a .225 batting average, the second lowest number among Giant relievers. And despite the low batting average allowed, still an ERA near 6 as Ensberg splinters his bat. That's too small for even kindling.
Now, I wonder if that's one of those cupped bats. You know, they hollow out the end of it. Sometimes a hitter will be so far out in front of a pitch that it will actually catch that cupped part of the bat. That one doesn't. That one is cupped. The new bat.
The 1-2 to Morgan Ensberg, a swing and a miss, strike 3. So Morgan Ensberg, 3 strikeouts in each of the last 2 games in the series. And now it's Jeff Blum. Blum 4 for 7 in 2 long nights against the Giants. Rob Makoviak next for San Diego. And Blum tried to hold up. It's 1 ball and 1 strike.
Jack Tashner with a fastball, a slider, and a changeup. Jeff had a fastball to hit there. Or a changeup, rather, out in front of it.
This will be a rare plate appearance for Rob Makoviak against a left-handed hurler. Makoviak waiting next, only 38 rather plate appearances against the southpaw. 2-2 the count to Blum. You know, I'm surprised to see that much of the media that was here specifically to cover Barry Bonds is sticking around here to wait out an outcome, despite the fact that Bonds was removed in the 8th inning tonight. Our producer Nick Davis makes a very good point. They're waiting for the postgame press conference. I guess what I was thinking of some of the media from the Pacific Rim. Right. That'll cover a big league game, and if Ichiro is taken out of the game, they bail.
Right.
Daisuke Matsuzaka, he comes out of the game. Sometimes they go off the air. Remember when Hideo Nomo came to the States?
Right.
Nomo would go 6 1/3, 7 innings.
Got to go.
He comes out of the game, and that'll do it for tonight. They end the doggone broadcast. Blum's aboard as he weasels a walk out of Jack Tashner. So San Diego has the winning run aboard now for Makoviak. All kinds of decisions to make here now, Mudcat. What do you do with Makoviak, first of all? And then due up next is Will Ledesma. You've only got one position guy available.
You got to hit away.
Okay.
Was that your question?
Yeah, for the most part.
Michael Barrett out on deck.
And my next question is, what do you do next? I know it all depends on what Makoviak does. You got a chance to win it. If Makoviak can get on base and move the winning run to second, you could roll the dice and have Barrett swing it. But if Michael doesn't come through, you leave yourself exposed with no regulars left. No position players left.
Did you notice anybody going down to the bullpen as far as like maybe another starting pitcher?
No.
No?
Clay Meredith's up.
Sometimes guys who are like thrown on the side.
In the air for Davis in the corner. I guess that got into the stands.
Who is that out there?
Justin Germano?
Yeah, it's Germano. He's supposed to schedule the pitch tomorrow. Right?
You know, one thing that we have not mentioned, and we're remiss for mentioning this earlier, Chris Young threw a bullpen today. And Chris is hopeful that he'll be able to start his schedule the day he's able to come off the DL on Thursday.
So I was right. Somebody did sneak down there in between innings. Germano. I mean, according to the, he's scheduled to start tomorrow against Noah Lowry, right?
Right.
Unless he's want to start warming up early for tomorrow's game.
Makoviak lines into the opposite field. And now Michael Barrett will have a chance to swing the bat, and he will have a chance to win the ball game.
Great job by Rob Makoviak going with that pitch, lefty against lefty. Spanking that safety to left field to move that winning run to second base.
Bruce Bochy is going to go to his bullpen. He has already made the move for the right-handed reliever Randy Messenger, who also pitched in last night's game. A pitching change. The winning runs in scoring position in the last of the 11th, and we'll be right back. A 2-2 ball game. Runners at first and second with only one away, and San Diego has a chance to win it. Randy Messenger trying to prevent that from happening, of course, and trying to get this ball game into the 12th. Messenger appearing in back-to-back games in the series. In last night's opener here at Petco Park, he went 2/3 of an inning, allowed a couple of hits, but did not allow a run. And starts Michael Barrett with a strike. Michael Barrett is a pinch hitter this year, has hit a home run, 1 for 4 as a pinch batter.
And Messenger knows that Barrett likes that fastball, so what does he do? He starts him off with a first pitch slider.
Bouncing ball to second. The double play. And we're going to play 12 innings downtown tonight. Santa Maria. Still stuck on a 2-2 score as we go to the 12th inning downtown tonight. And the Padres will go back to the bullpen once again. And right-hander Clay Meredith takes over for San Diego.
Who's left, Matty? Nobody in the Padre bullpen. Everybody has been used up to this point. And the Padres offensively have 2 guys on the bench, as we mentioned earlier, who have some aches and pains. Brian Giles with the ankle, Bradley with the hamstring. And I've got just Lewis left for the Giants. Fred Lewis.
Sinker starts him with a strike. 0-1 the count to Kevin Franzen leading off the 12th. Franzen, Robertson win the 9, then 1 and 2 guys. A chopper to third base for Morgan Ensberg and 1 away.
Hey folks, how about checking out Motor World of El Cajon? You know, summer's coming to an end, and it's desert season. So many things you can check out. Everything's always on sale at Motor World of El Cajon. Dirt bikes, Honda, Yamaha's, great selection. Rangers, Polaris, Yamaha, Rhinos. 315 North Magnolia in El Cajon.
Look at this cha-cha.
Justin Germano.
Justin Germano is up. Not throwing hard. He's the scheduled starter tomorrow afternoon. So let me ask you this. Germano gets into the ballgame today, pitches 1, maybe 2 innings. Worst case scenario, heaven forbid we should be here any longer than that with this one.
I know what your question is. Who's going to start tomorrow?
Yeah.
Who would be next in line? It would be David Wells, right? I don't know if you want to. Man.
I mean, do you bring Boomer back a day early? 1-2 the count to Dave Roberts.
I don't know if you want to do that, but have any other alternative? Maybe they can reactivate the left-hander.
Does Tim Stauffer come back up? Can't get him here overnight.
They'd have to make a move then, huh?
Roberts caught looking at a called strike 3. Clay making quick work of his ex-teammate.
Oh, good pitch. We've seen Darryl Cousins behind home plate tonight. The umpire calling that pitch. Dave Roberts didn't like it.
So now Randy Winnie singled and stole the base in the 10th.
Oh, I'm sorry, Matty. I was jumping. Wait a second. I'm getting confused here by the starters.
Tomorrow it's Germano.
Right.
Monday it's Boomer.
Okay. Jake on Tuesday. Maddox scheduled for Wednesday. Okay.
You know, everybody's pitched tonight now.
Yeah.
And that's why you see Justin Germano up. And it's why the question is difficult to answer. 2 balls and a strike to count to Randy Wynn. Sharply grounded to shortstop. Green throws him out. A very quick inning for the Claw. To the bottom of the 12th. Still tied 2 apiece. Bottom of the 12th inning, and Marcus Giles will lead things off against Randy Messenger in the 12th. And as we continue to debate as to who will pitch and who can be used and how you're going to negotiate the rest of this ball game, it's a pretty fairly case of the guys being out there now being the guys in charge of taking this game to its eventual conclusion.
Yeah, I think if this game goes any longer, Clay Meredith is going to go for as long as he can go. Don't you think?
Well, I think the same can be said maybe to a degree for Randy Messenger. The Giants still have Brad Hennessy available. 1-1 to Marcus Giles.
And you have to go back to the night before when Greg Maddux pitched. Meredith pitched 2/3 of an inning. Cameron an inning. Hoffman an inning. Bell an inning. And once again, those guys tonight an inning each. But as far as from the starter standpoint, you know, if let's say this thing goes 16.
Don't.
No, I'm just saying. If it does, Justin Germano's out there to pitch. Or do you go with an emergency pitcher? You don't go with an emergency pitcher in a tie game. You can't do that.
Nope.
So you got to go with some of your horses from the rotation.
I think you can safely say that BP will be scrapped for both teams tomorrow. Just a guess. One man's guess.
No, I think that's safe to say.
It's 2-2 now to Marcus Giles. He holds up on a breaking ball, full count. This is Marcus's second plate appearance since entering the game in a switch. One that moved Jeff Blum to left. And there's ball 4 to Giles. The winning runs aboard to start the 12th inning. A good plate appearance from Marcus that time.
Absolutely.
Here's Mike Cameron now. Giles is running, a swing and a miss. The throw down to second base is too late. Winning run in scoring position.
Good jump. It was a breaking ball from Messenger, and you know, Marcus Giles slides hard into that bag. See Mike Cameron get down across home. His momentum brought him across home plate, bending down at the plate. So Molina could throw over him to second base.
Now you might guess it would change the plate appearance a little for Mike Cameron, though you should know that Mike does not have a sacrifice this year. Looking somehow at worst to get Giles to third. Cameron has had a great night at the plate. Winning run at second, nobody out last of the 12th. Josh Bard next. Messenger out of the stretch. Mike bunts. His first sacrifice of the year is a big one. And San Diego wins it with a fly ball.
Nicely done, Mike Cameron. Good technique. Dens the ball perfectly. And looks like the main thing is that he got a good pitch to bunt. Looked like it was straight. It was up near the eyes, near the letters.
Well, Bruce Bochy gathers his infield now. Josh Bard will be the batter. Tonight, Bard is 1 for 5.
They might load him up here, huh? Pitch to Ensberg. Walk the next two guys.
Good possibility of that, yeah.
Or walk the next guy, which is Bard. Pitch to Gonzalez. Who knows? A lot of things can happen here.
It makes it all the more interesting because Bruce Bochy has such a familiarity with this roster. Bard has had limited success in limited opportunity against Randy Messenger. They will go forward wide ones to Josh.
They're going to walk Gonzalez too, I think. Or would you pitch to Gonzalez? What do you think? It's a tough call. Yeah, you got the
really
double
is
play
a tough call.
You got the double play in order. The infield can play back if it's first and third.
You know what?
Not back, but the middle infielders can play double play depth.
My guess is that they're going to walk Adrian too.
That was just my gut feeling when I saw first and second base open. Morgan Ensberg down the chain. I'm sorry, Khalil Green.
So they will execute the intentional pass to Gonzalez as well. And it's going to be up to Khalil Green to strike a fly ball to win it.
Got ahead of myself there. I counted. I got so excited I counted one down too far. Just thinking Ensberg.
Oh, the wheels are turning so fast. There's sparks flying. Here's Greeny. His night tonight has been 3 fly balls to the outfield, a single and a pop-up. The Giants have the infield in. Here we go.
It's go time.
A base hit up the middle, and that's going to win it for San Diego. Fly ball, nothing. First ball swinging. Khalil Green with a nice, easy lick and a second consecutive extra innings walk-off victory against the rival Giants. Well, it was worth all 4+ hours of this ball game. Three to 2 San Diego, our final score downtown tonight. We're back right after this. final game summary brought to you by Murray Lampert Construction. Stay with us for the Murray Lampert plays of the game coming up a little later on in the show. 3-2 San Diego. It took 12 innings, and it was worth all 4+ hours tonight. Clay Meredith, the winner over Randy Messenger. Khalil Green had the game winner with the bases loaded and 1 away in the bottom of the 12th. 3-2 Friars, the final downtown tonight. Stay with us. The Lexus postgame show is coming up next.